So I think I'm going to start with the non-feature today. And you may have seen how Steve Keen he launched the Grift. He raised the got on the big grifting platform, as I talked about last time, with his little interview, quote, interview with Diary of a CEO. That little weasel, Steve Bartlett, the fucking charlatan. You could look into him for yourself. As I mentioned, the guy is such a fucking scammer that even the BBC did a hit piece on him with all his fucking nutritional disinformation. Remember, folks, if you haven't noticed this by now, either you're brand new to ScamTube or you're just fucking stupid. And if you're stupid, you better get the fuck off YouTube because you're going to be taken. Now, you think that you got it under control, but you don't. You're going to be taken, I'll guarantee you. You're going to be swindled. You're going to be lied to, deceived. ScamTube has turned into a huge scam portal, the largest in the world. It's nothing but fucking click funnels. Everything is a fucking sales funnel on this scammy platform. And as I mentioned before, take a look at all these channels. Have you wondered why virtually every single channel, other than, let's say, large media companies, everyone who has a channel, they're telling you something different. They're telling you that legacy media is wrong. Everybody. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're promoting this anti-establishment ecosystem because it's conducive to crackpot conspiracies, which is conducive to selling nutritional supplements to cure fucking cancer and all this other bullshit. People who watch YouTube are fucking stupid. You're all fucking stupid. YouTube is a criminal organization. It's shocking how it's permitted to pull all this shit. It's shocking to me. All the fucking disinformation on everything. Once again, all of these channels, if you geniuses haven't noticed it yet, all these big channels, and you got the smaller guys, the copycats, they're all telling you something that you've not heard before unless you've heard it from ScamTube or social media. Right? Folks, do you really think that any of these jugheads on ScamTube or social media is going to know more than what you're going to get in the news? Oh, I don't trust the news. Oh, they're lying all the time. No, I'm sorry. You're just fucking mentally ill if you believe that. Okay? If you're hearing all this bullshit that you haven't heard before, I'm not saying the news is always correct and never lies. But you notice these fraudsters on ScamTube, they pick all these big clickbait headlines and they want to tell you this is the way it is. Folks, this is why I say check their credentials. How are they qualified to talk about all this stuff? None of them are. And on the rare occasion where you might think they are, take a look at their sales funnel. They all have fucking sales funnels, which means they're no longer legit. Because their narrative, and that's what it is, it shouldn't be a narrative. If they're a legit analyst or economist or what have you, they shouldn't really have a narrative. They should be reporting objectively. But they create narratives which tie into their sales funnel. And that's what Steve Keen's doing. We're going to talk about that. But all these channels, once again, folks, they're giving you all this horse shit so that it opens your mind to accept the conspiracies. And the conspiracies, oh yeah, well, it's got to be this. There government's not, they're lying. The medical industry is a fraud. They're all lying. I'm going to take the supplements. Pitched by Joe Rogan. I mean, seriously? Just like Patrick Bet David tells you that college is a waste and it's such a bad investment, he claimed that you can't get a loan at the bank for your college education, which is not true. But that's the mentality he uses. Oh, well, the banks don't loan you money for college, therefore it's a bad investment. They think it's a bad investment. No, Patrick, you airhead. Banks have certain criteria for loans. Namely, you have to have fucking collateral. College kids normally don't come in with collateral. You stupid airhead shyster. Multi-level marketing fucking exploitative piece of trash. Tell him I fucking said so. He knows who I am. You think these motherfuckers don't know who I am? I can guarantee you they do. So today we're going to go over. I've actually written it out to show you piece by piece how Steve Keen is deceiving people. Very rare. I normally don't do that. I mean, folks, I can pick things apart live. I can watch it. Boom, it's obvious. Okay, but you all can read it. You can see it here. And before we do that, actually, let's take a look. Well, let me post the disclaimer. I'm going to start to get in the habit of doing this. And let me just read this. The content is for informational and journalistic purposes and reflects my opinions based on publicly available information. Any characterizations or opinion, not statements of fact, unless explicitly stated. Viewers should verify information independently. Okay. And this is really what it's all about, folks. It's all about, this is why I typically don't come down and spend all my time like showing you piece by piece why someone's full of shit. That's grunt work. I'm too high level to do that. You understand? I'm too high level to do that. That's like asking a highly accomplished professor to go and teach a 3-year-old advanced physics. It's not reasonable, and it's not a good use of his time, the professor that is. Okay? He's going to point you in the right direction, and you take it from there. I'm going to give you my opinion, and you take it from there. Okay? That's why it's important to know who the fuck I am and my track record, my credibility. Not just my research track record. But if you go through and look at everything, I have this really unique tendency to be right an awful lot of times. Now, auditing the track record, I don't know, ChatGPT pretty much is, I think about, it's subjective, but I think they've come out to about 85% on average over 20 years, okay, which is insanely high. That's the hard part, okay? That's the hard part, that type of stuff. The easy part for me is going through quickly within 30 seconds without ever seeing anyone, knowing who they are. I can usually pick out if they're a scammer or not. If I'm not sure, maybe I have to dive into it. But usually it's pretty obvious. Okay? Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 minutes. All right? And if you don't find it within 2 or 3 minutes, then it increases the chance that they're not a scammer. You see? And the problem, of course, is that the people you see today, right? The people that are putting themselves out there, they're spending all their time and energy and money and everything making making all these fancy videos and all this. And what do you think they're doing that? To sell your ass. That's why just about all these people out there are fucking scammers. The guys who are not scammers ain't doing that. They're earning an honest living with real jobs. They're not parasites. You see, people don't understand these platforms are conducive for scams and scamming. You see? So, let's actually speaking of Patrick Bet David, I didn't look into this. I just saw one guy, and I'll talk about it briefly. But let's talk about Patrick Bet David. And this is kind of the intro. And this street thug knows who I am. In fact, maybe just send him and his clowns an email, tell him about me. Let's go, Patrick. Once again, folks, none of these guys will allow themselves to be confronted. It's not going to happen. Just like they won't confront the con artists and scammers that they have on their channel. That's not the point. The point's not to press them with the truth. The point is for them to promote their bullshit. You see, they have these people on their channels because, take a look, all these people, they're promoting conspiracies and crackpots. Bullshit, which is conducive. Patrick Bet David's case, right, tells you that college is a bad deal, just like Robert Kiyosaki does, because they tell you that the education system is bad. And, well, you want real education. Oh, really, Patrick? Really, Robert? Yeah. And they don't come out and say, well, I can do it for you. They're more sly about that. That's where, you'll find out about Robert Kiyosaki's, his bullshit seminars, and Patrick Bet David as well. You see, this is where they do it. This is how they do it. They want to convince you that, and it's disgusting. And the parents out there, all you parents, you're fucking losers and failures. You're a disgusting disgrace. You don't deserve to have children if you're not coming out and publicly exposing these scammers who are brainwashing your children and children throughout the world, convincing them to not go to university. They're trying to take away the best resources your children have to create a stable career and retirement, telling you that 401ks are a scam. You parents out there, you disgust me. Your children should be taken away from you. You're all failures. All of you. The whole fucking population. If you're not coming out, and I haven't seen anybody do it, come out after these people, like Patrick Bet David, like Robert Kiyosaki and others, who are convincing children, young people, to forego college, to not invest in a 401k, so on and so forth. They're doing that to limit their options in life so that they'll be beholden to their scams. Grant Cardone does the same thing. Talks about 401k being a scam. These people are such mental midgets. In fact, Grant Cardone, I recall him saying, if I actually spent the time to go through all these guys, the audit would be devastating as fuck, times 1 billion. Who's got the time to watch thousands of videos of these guys? It's flooding, you see. There's so much damning evidence, you can't get through all their shit. Grant Cardone actually, I remember he said something like, oh yeah, well 401k, you have your money locked up for many years. It's one of the things he's saying is bad. Yet he wants you to invest in his high fee fund where you can't get out for at least 10 years. I mean, the guy is such such a fucking hypocrite. Anyway, I mean, all these guys are a joke. It's just sad and disgusting that no one's going after these people. Nobody. Is anybody going? No, they're not. They pretend to get views so they can monetize their channel and sell scam ads. And then after they've gotten enough subscribers, they become fake gurus. You know, it's the Meet Kevin model, right? Meet Kevin model. Criticize Grant Cardone and then become Grant Cardone. So, Patrick Bet David, I saw this. Let me show you guys here. I saw this, and so I had to. I have to talk about it. Now, you may have noticed. I mean, I don't watch ScamTube, so if I see it, you guys see it. There's this Chinaman, Chinese guy, who's been making the waves on YouTube. He's the latest. You all notice how on YouTube these guys, they appear from nowhere and all of a sudden they become huge. Have you noticed that? You think that's by chance? Do you understand what's happening? Whenever you see that, you know what's going on. You should know by now. First thing you do is you go on Joe Rogan and check the name and see if they've been profiled there. And then Lex Friedman, Patrick Bet David, Diary CEO, so on and so forth. Tom Bilyeu. That's what's going on. They get on one of these shows, and each of them have a different business model, different spin, by the way. Some of them you pay to get on unless you're high profile enough to bring viewers, a lot of viewers. You see? If you're not, then you're going to probably pay to get on unless there's a reason why they can benefit. I mean, I can go over specific examples. I know the whole deal. So the shows, they all vary, right? Depending upon how they... But my point is that once a person gets on one of the shows, it eventually, they go through the whole circle jerk. Get on Joe Rogan's show, get on Lex Friedman's show, get on Patrick Bet David's show, get on Tucker Carlson's show. You understand? That's how these guys are blowing up. You're getting nothing but reinforcement of the same dog shit. That's why YouTube is complete fucking dog shit. Dog shit scams. And remember, these guys, whether it's Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Patrick Bet David, so on and so forth, notice who their guests are. Almost never will they have anyone of any credibility. Now, if you think they're credible, it's because you're fucking naive. Rare occasion, if their channel can benefit somehow, someone of a very high profile will bring a lot of subscribers. You see? And that person of high profile would only go on their scam show because they have a message to deliver. It will benefit them. And they may not even know that the person that they're on their channel is a scammer. They probably don't. You see? So this guy I'm talking about here, let me show you. And I pulled up his channel. We're going to go through and take a look at all these people. And I can tell you by looking at most of them, they're related, by the way, to Patrick. You know, Patrick Bet David claims to be Iranian Persian. Guess what? There's a lot of people from Iran, not a huge number, but there's a certain percentage from Iran that actually, originally their roots are from Israel. You see? And that would be Patrick Bet David's case. But nonetheless, you know, I mean, that's not necessarily why Patrick Bet David avoids, you know, talking about Israel or anything like that. I think he avoids it more so because he wants to be part of the establishment. He wants to be part of the system so he can be platformed more of a mainstream, so he can lure more naive people into his grift, into his bullshit conferences and mentorships and that, so on and so forth. He's all about the money. Money, 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 money. That's how you become oftentimes when you're poorly educated and you're just a thug and you're desperate and you have no morals. So let me show you here, because I want to bring this guy up. I haven't even looked into the guy because I don't need to. You see the guy, all of a sudden, I mean, who is he? Folks, I guess it's easy for me. You know, I come from I'm in the research analyst field. I know when someone's credible and when they're not, when they're full of shit. I mean, these people are speaking to YouTube audience. I mean, you've got the people on YouTube think this Peter Zahan is credible. He's a fucking joke. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people that realize he's a joke because I see the comments. You'll see it especially when he's on another channel. And he just gets torn to pieces, which is encouraging. But this guy, we'll go through Patrick Bet-David's. We'll just do a scan here a little bit later to show you there's nobody of any credibility on his channel. It's just a bunch of fucking grifters and people trying to launch their grifting. And of course, he's also got his Valuetainment, right? What a stupid name. Only a fucking airhead like Patrick Bet-David could come up with such a stupid name. Let's take a look here. What has he got? Merch. I mean, Patrick Bet-David, he tells you he's a baller. He's worth a lot of money, but he sells merchandise? I mean, really? Like, you're a shameless fucking loser. You ain't got shit, bitch. Fucking loser. Where's his Valuetainment bullshit? Let's see. I want to pull that up. I want to show you guys the channel too. So we can just so you can see, there's no one of any real credibility. Anyway, he's got the Chinese guy on the channel too, on this one too. So we're going to talk about this guy. Let me get more videos here, just so that I can show you for sure. Folks, I'm telling you right now, okay? No credibility. And once again, if someone seems to have credibility on their channel, but you look into what they're pitching, what they're discussing, then you have to understand. A good example is, let's say they have a university professor who at a prestigious university. Okay, what's he talking about? Is he talking about his field of study? That's the first question, right? If he's not, then good chance he's trying to grift. Okay, let me change the. Okay, so there you see it now. Boy, you had plenty of time to read that. So this guy, Jiang Qin. So let me just, I haven't looked into this guy, but I do know a couple of things. So this guy is like works in high schools. He calls himself, he's another one of these frauds who calls himself a professor, which implies that you have a PhD teaching at a university. That's what it implies to me. I mean, to me, if you are calling yourself a professor and you are coming out as if, confidently saying all these things, to me that implies, I'm assuming that that's your area of expertise. You have a PhD in that area or related field, and you're a professor at a university. If you're not, to me, you're a fraud. You're misrepresenting yourself. That's my opinion. Okay? Certainly a con artist. Okay? And so this guy, that's the situation. I haven't even watched this video. He breaks his silence with Patrick. What silence? This guy's doing fucking 10 videos every day. Interviews all over the place. So this is a guy, this Chinese guy. Let me well, I guess we'll go ahead and play a little bit of it.
30 seconds. Did you ever think you would make it?
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, I mean, do you all see this? You see this? Can you believe? Patrick Bet David, you're a fucking loser. You're a, I mean, I mean, are you fucking real? He's got, should I play it again? Should I play it again? Let me do this. Did you all see it?
30 seconds. Did you
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
think you would
yeah,
make
yo.
it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. No, this life meant for me.
Adam.
Oh my God.
The future looks bright. My handshake is.
So, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it. I mean, hopefully you can. So he's got his Grant Cardone opening, right? Coming off a jet. I mean, folks, when you see someone pretending like this, you got to understand the default conclusion before you look into them is they're a scammer. They're trying to build this persona, this perception, like there's some, oh, he's successful, he's wealthy. If you're successful and wealthy, you're not fucking spending all your fucking time and money making these videos. You're trying to pull in the sheep. Successful and wealthy people don't need to go to this extent to make these little low-budget Hollywood intros for themselves. You understand that, right? That right there is a definitive sign, in my book, that the person is a swindler. It's just obvious. And I don't understand how people don't see that. I don't understand. I mean, you got to be really fucking stupid. Really fucking stupid. So anyway, this guy.
Also at that.
So this guy apparently, he's in China. He lives in China. Okay. He was educated in the West, and this is a good example of why America needs to start prohibiting Chinese nationals from coming to our universities. It's like they're like spies, learning our system to go back home. You understand? And I pretty much wrote about this 20 years ago with respect to technology. I was a little more mild with my assessment. But that's what I was thinking. But you got these liberal universities. You know, Harvard, I've got this video where this guy from Harvard is bragging how Harvard's helped China do this and that over the years, and this and that. Great, Harvard. Why don't you fucking relocate your ass over to China so we can have a proper war and defeat all the enemies? So this guy, let me think about it for a second. Now you all know that ScamTube is blocked in China, right? I think I'm having some issues with my video card, actually. So unfortunately, you guys, you probably can't see him. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. this Chinese guy, he's from China, and he's using YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. Okay. How is he getting through the firewall in China? Okay, he uses a VPN. But wait a second. This guy he works with the Chinese government, right? So if you are caught using a VPN in China, you're in deep trouble, by the way. It's clear to me this guy is a CCP shill. He's a paid CCP shill, spreading all types of fucking bullshit. So ask yourself why this guy is being platformed by all these people. Because he's given all types of inaccurate information, wild conspiracies, and bullshit. Okay? And once again, it fits within the narrative of these guys. These guys are all about creating this fear-mongering narrative where, you know, the U.S. is going to collapse. The stock market's going to collapse. You can't trust the government, right? Buy gold. Buy gold, Tucker Carlson will tell you, right? Patrick Bet-David, he's probably selling nutritional supplements as well. I don't know. He'll mentor you, right? Join his conference. He'll show you the way. You see? That's all the content is based on this on YouTube. It's all based on horseshit. YouTube is not only now the world's largest scam portal, it's now the world's largest disinformation portal. Total 100% different. Folks, I'm telling you, all the small channels as well, it's everything. All the small channels are following all the big channels. It's all a load of shit. Well, this sucks if we can't show the video here, I guess. But I wanted to just point this out about Patrick Bet-David and this Chinese guy. It's a complete joke. The Chinese guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay. Doesn't have it. You know what I should do, actually, because this Chinese guy, he's a whore right now. He'll be interviewed by anybody, especially since, you know, he wants to spread the message of the CCP. I should actually schedule to interview him and do it live and just expose the hell out of him. That's what I should do. So let's take a look here. I don't know if everybody can see it. So what I want you to do, as I've mentioned before, and once again, folks, this is a process that takes time and effort. The more scammers and con artists, disinfo agents that you identify, the larger your arsenal will be, and the greater the chance you will have of finding them on these channels. So in other words, even myself, I don't know a lot of these people. And the reason why is most likely they're from more of a fringe, or they're just launching their scam. But I can tell you, there's enough scammers on Patrick Bet-David's channel to conclude that every single person on his channel, zero credibility. That's at best, zero credibility. And probably most of them are scammers. Okay? So this guy, Scott Galloway, he's some like marketing professor at Columbia or something, one of these schools. He's another fucking clown. He's another grifter pulling his little grift. He's trying to like monetize and commercialize shit. Oh, I got my podcast. Oh, yeah. And he's got views on everything. Oh, he's an expert on everything. Sorry, dude. That's a grift. You don't know what you're talking about. Stay in your fucking lane. Talk about stupid fucking marketing. Monkey fucking course. Marketing. Okay. I mean, it's easy. All you got to do is go through their shit. Folks, it's so predictable. Just go through and see for yourself. The type of hyperbole, exaggerated bullshit to lure you in. And remember, in my book, even clickbait is scammy. Clickbait is scammy. Why? It's dishonest. It's publishing a dishonest message to get you to click. Why? They want to make money off you. Well, if they're making money off you clicking off something that's not accurate, it's exaggerated, isn't that income by deception? Yeah, it is. So that's why, to me, it's a scam, by the way. Let's take a look here. Tucker Carlson. Okay. And this guy's a fucking grifter, Terrence Howard. I don't recall the details, but I know this guy's complete fucking full of shit. No credibility. I think he was on Joe Rogan. That's why he's on here. Rand Paul, total fucking fraud. Complete fucking, just like his dad. Complete full of shit. He's got the people fooled. Yeah, I'm for the people. Yeah, yeah. Liberty, freedom. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. Just another Israel firster. Michael Cohen, fucking crybaby. He was pulling all types of shit for Trump, doing all types of illegal shit for Trump. He gets canned by Trump, and he goes and cries, and he hates Trump now. Pathetic. Just go through the list here. I mean, I don't know most of these people, but I can guarantee you they're all full of shit. Why? Because I know Patrick Bet-David is full of shit. He's an idiot. And his associates that he's got are idiots. Folks, it's not about empowering you with intellect, good information, good ideas, or even accurate reporting. It's about the sales funnel. This is all about their sales funnel. Right? It's just fucking shit show. So, take a look at his other channel here. I hope somewhere someone is saving his video. Look, 11,000 videos. At some point, because Luigi Mangione wrote you a letter. Shut your fucking mouth. He wrote you a letter if you sent him money. Okay, this guy is such. He's Patrick Bet-David is such a cloud chasing fucking idiot. There's nothing more that disgusts me than some cloud chasing fucking moron. At least if you're going to chase the clouds, be worth something. And so anyway, my point is that I hope people are saving his videos and all these other scammers, because at some point, there might be some legal actions and you want discovery process, right? You don't want them to remove videos or edit them like Graham Stephan did with his FTX videos. Of course, doing that, what Graham Stephan did, as I mentioned, was illegal. Highly illegal. It's called evidence tampering in the state of Las Vegas. Or I'm sorry, the state of Nevada. Okay? Evidence tampering. He clipped out his endorsement of FTX from his videos after the lawsuit. He was named in the lawsuit. So this is just a bunch of meatheads blabbering. You can see here, David and his meatheads. Blah, 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 blah. Who the fuck has the time to waste? Fucking idiot. Just complete horseshit nonsense. So anyway, let's move on. So the Chinese guy is a CCP shill. He has no credibility. He's full of shit. If you believe this guy, if you waste time on this guy, then there's something wrong with the school system failed you. Okay? Steve Keen. This is the main event. The main event. Should I delay it? Should I go over one other small thing here? I think I should, actually. This made I'm going to this made the news today. I saw it, and I've got it here written out for you guys. Okay, I got it here written out for you actually. Where is it? Well, I have it, but so, and it's funny because if you search for this, not putting CNBC, you'll notice just about every other media story doesn't name Robinhood first. They name Bank of New York, then Robinhood. But CNBC names Robinhood first. Why is that important? Well, because this is an advertisement for Robinhood. Okay? So let's take a look here. Robinhood, now when I saw this piece, they didn't talk about Bank of New York, by the way. So take a look. Robinhood is going to be running the Trump accounts. Think about that. Okay? There's no fucking video. No. And you all know these stupid Trump accounts, they're like for kids born this year or something. They get $1,000 in their account or something, an investment account, right? Something like that. So, let me see if we got it here. I guess we don't. I'll be damned. Here we go. Yeah. So, take a look. Look at this. Trump accounts puts Robinhood in front of the next generation. See that? How about Bank of New York? And they do an interview with this crooked piece of shit, Russian mafioso fucking piece of shit. Right? Think about it for a second. Why would Trump associate financial accounts with this scam company, this scam app? Do I need to remind everybody about this scam company? You know, I'm the only person in the world who is coming out on ScamTube and telling everybody, hey, why are all you fucking people posting affiliate links for Robinhood? They're selling order flow. They're fucking the people. You understand? You don't see a whole lot of the Robinhood affiliate links anymore. I don't know if they pull them or, you see? Folks, all these people that run these channels, they're all fucking pieces of shit. They don't give a fuck about their viewers. They all want to make the money. They don't care if you get hurt. Okay? Let me remind everybody. So think about it for a second. I made it easy for you folks. It's all written out. Take a look. Take a look. So remember, Robinhood broke the law many times. Right? Remember, their whole marketing was, well, we want to democratize finance. We're not just for Wall Street. We're going to let you in it. Folks, you stupid motherfuckers. You stupid motherfuckers. They want to bring the dumb money in. The stupid bitches. The idiots who don't know shit. You all think, yeah, I've got a chance now. No, you don't. The only chance you have is to lose your fucking ass. Wall Street's going to take your money. That's what all these financial media platforms are about. Is selling you the idea that you can do it. Because all these financial media platforms, they work for Wall Street. They want dumb money in to take your fucking money. I can say this a billion times until I'm blue in the face, and most people won't get it. Most people that watch YouTube, because they're that fucking stupid, unfortunately. Let's take a look. They misled customers about free trading. They told you it was free. We're going to give you free trading. No commissions. They didn't tell you that they were selling your order flow to criminal hedge funds. So that they're giving you shitty execution. They're taking the spread. They didn't tell you that. Okay? And the SEC, through investigations, proved that you idiots using Robinhood were being ripped off. In fact, it's funny because I remember seeing this Ricky Gutierrez, scam artist, piece of shit motherfucker, who couldn't trade his way out of a corner if his life depended on it, pushing Robinhood. Folks, I made this point many years ago. Nobody who has a rat's ass about trading will ever use a trading app. Okay? And that was especially back then, even now, because the trading apps more so, because now, before the trading apps were primarily doing payment for order flow. Now everybody's doing it. But I believe, without having the proof, but I believe with my understanding of the industry, that the trading apps, you're getting fucked even more so. Okay? You're getting fucked even more so. But back when Ricky Gutierrez was pushing the Robinhood, all these other motherfuckers, a lot of the other firms weren't doing it or weren't doing it much. The trading apps relied exclusively on payment for order flow for their revenue. So why the fuck, if you claim to be a trader, would you use a trading app when you're getting shitty order execution? I mean, are you fucking crazy? This is how so stupid the YouTube audience is. Nobody brought this up. You're all fucking stupid. That's why you fall for Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone and Meet Kevin and Nomad Capitalist and Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan and Patrick Bet-David. List goes on and on and on and on. And somebody say, well, I don't fall for them. Okay, yeah, well, I'm sure there's plenty of idiots you fall for. Take a look. Okay? Violations of anti-fraud provisions. Fraud. Number 2, failure to satisfy BEC's execution obligations. Okay? You have to by law, you have to provide the best execution for your customers. If you are not doing that, that's a problem. And if you're making money because you're not doing that, that is fraud. That is what this parasite was involved with. Meanwhile, he's telling everyone in the world that he's giving free trading because he wants to democratize investments, finance. He's a good guy. He's Robin Hood. Yeah, Robin Hood. Except they're stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. Take a look. Misleading statements about execution quality. They actually told investors that they were getting just as good execution, if not better, than the competition, when they were actually getting worse. That is to say, the execution that you were getting if you traded through Robinhood was worse than other apps that sold their order flow. Why do you think the hedge funds paid big money for the order flow through Robinhood? Because they were going to fuck you more. And remember, they didn't disclose this Russian mobster, and I say Russian, quote unquote, because I can't say the real word. So, once again, violation of Rule 10b-5, anti-fraud misrepresentation. Number 4, failure to properly supervise trading systems. This also goes into that same issue. And then, of course, you all probably remember the outages, namely with GameStop, right? But there were several outages. And most importantly, the idiots that were sucked into GameStop. Well, if you're going through Robinhood, well, mysteriously the trading shut down when perhaps it stood to benefit the hedge funds. You all know the whole story, right? I mean, that alone should have caused a mass departure from Robinhood. But people are fucking stupid, just like so many episodes throughout the past decade and a half should have caused people to depart from Facebook, and they didn't. Most people didn't. Things happen for a reason. Your life sucks because of you. Okay? And gamification. Now this is interesting. This is where they have these little bells and whistles. Oh, congratulations, you made your first trade, and all the confetti comes down. This is Joe Camel type of manipulation. And it's really interesting. In fact, I'm going to send a little email to my good friends at the SEC, the parasites over there that protect their own. A little reminder of, hey, parasite guys, this recent case with Scambook, and can I say it? The alternative way to pronounce G. Think about that. Not just the alternative way, but substantially who runs it. Scambook and Google, they lost the lawsuit for hooking kids through the algorithm, hooking them on their, in the case of Google, YouTube, right? Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. Think about it. This has opened the door now to go after Robinhood, the manipulation to get people hooked on trading. That's what Robinhood does. They have little things that they get people to, it's like a Joe Camel, subconsciously hooking people on trading stocks. And so you can see, I mean, this is a drop in the bucket. 135 million is nothing. But guess what? Take a look. Robinhood donated $2 million to the Trump campaign. That's why Robinhood is in charge of Trump accounts. Okay? Think about it. You've got this scammy firm that's hooking young people into trading. And so you've got these kids now with these Trump accounts, and the app is coming from Robinhood, and they're going to be hooked on Robinhood. And from an early age, boom. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. How come nobody's talking about it? Because apparently nobody talks about real fucking fraud except for me. This piece of shit. This dirty fucking rat. Dirty
we were talking
fucking
yesterday
rat.
about how it's not just the federal government.
Doesn't he look like Sam Bankman-Fried? Look at that grimace on his face. Kind of has his hippie ass fucking look. They look like they're related. What do you think? What do you think?
Corporations have signed on to contribute for their employees, and philanthropists, and maybe even states. We're gonna.
You know, it takes a certain deviant mind, certain degeneracy in the mind to pull these types of scams. It's not normal. Normal human beings don't do this. Certain pathological degeneracy that I have to believe is a genetic trait. Whether it's going against all the standards, screwing everybody, bribing officials, to get your scam through, like Uber and Airbnb, right? Or what Robinhood is doing. And I say is doing because I know they're still doing all kinds of shit, guaranteed. Or even the cryptocurrencies, right? So, just a reminder here. I've already exposed Steve Keen. And you might recall I mentioned that I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I remember Keen long time ago, I suspected he was on the wrong side. I suspected he was kind of a grifter. Why? You know, why? I didn't really know much about it. Why? Because, folks, he met the golden rule. Golden rule number 1. You are judged by the company you keep. So what do I mean by that? Well, let me show you here, actually. Did I add it? I think I added it here. Yeah, here we go. Take a look. This is from about 15 years ago. I actually just found this a couple of days ago, so you can find it on ScamTube. Okay, that's the only good thing about ScamTube, and that is you can use it to see who said what in the media and when things were being posted. Take a look.
Right. Now, the idea of imposing austerity on Greece to get them to fulfill their Maastricht Treaty agreement as it is now, this, of course, is going to reduce taxable revenues because they're reducing the growth potential there, which is actually going to make it more difficult for Greece. And doesn't anyone understand that if they're trying to get the economy to grow their way out of the problem, that by imposing all these austerity measures is actually going to make it harder for the economy?
By the way, that annoying... Now, Max Kaiser has one of the more exaggerated, annoying voices, but I want you to remember that general whiny type of thing because that is very telling, right? It's very telling. It is part of the evidence trail that you use, not definitive, right? For instance, you might recall our friend Dave Colum, right? He's got the little whine as well. You understand? I'm giving away some of my secrets, how I'm such an expert in detecting. I have so many. That's just one simple one. It's not a definitive one. But so let me just kind of take you back. This was 15 years ago. Okay. And this was during the sovereign debt crisis. Most of you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. This was in Europe around 2010, 2011, when you had a Greece, Portugal, Spain, Ireland. They were in trouble. Okay. I'm not going to get into the details, but I wrote quite a few articles explaining what the hell was going on. And in fact, the article that I wrote, because at that time, the only news organization that would publish anything I had to write was Press TV. Now, Press TV is the Iranian news organization for the government of Iran. Okay? And of course, you know, they want to hear what anyone has to say that's not good about America. It turns out, as desperate as I was to communicate my information, I parted ways with Press TV and told them, once I found out that Max Kaiser had a show on there, I said, I'm not I'm not hanging with you guys. You've got disinfo, scammers. I'm not going to be part of this. I told them to fuck off. Okay. But one article that I wrote, you can look it up, The Rape of Greece by certain bankers. That article got Press TV banned in all of Europe. Why? Why? Because they don't want Europeans to read the truth from the world-class expert, the number one expert that predicted the financial crisis, that's exposing exactly what's going on. Why these countries, namely Greece, was in trouble, and why the IMF wanted austerity, wanted to destroy the Greek economy during a time when Greece was already in a depression. I explained it all. You see? Facts. I speak in facts. Okay? So here's my point. And by the way, you would think, maybe some of you are saying, wait a second, well, why didn't Max Kaiser? Surely he'd want to hear from you. No, see, you don't understand. Max Kaiser is a precious metal swindler. He's a gold and silver scam artist. I speak the truth about gold and silver. That guys like him are manipulating the price. You see? I'm legitimate. I'm like the only legitimate person out there that I know of, that I've ever heard of, that tells the truth about gold. So I know Max Kaiser knows who the fuck I am. I can guarantee you that. I know for fact. Okay? But it's just like Alex Jones. Alex Jones also banned me before I knew what kind of a fucking nutcase he was. I was going to go on his show. And he was already scheduling me in 2008. But he kept delaying it till he got to the end of my book, where I basically recommend to not buy physical gold and silver, but to buy the ETFs because of lower fees and your ability to maintain liquidity and trade the volatility. He didn't like that because he was making all his money at that time selling gold from his boss, Ted Anderson's Midas Resources. Prior to me, he never had a real financial expert on his show. And I never got on there, but all he would have is Bob Chapman, complete fucking fraud, pathological liar and idiot who he was some boiler room fucking fraud. So, you see, that's what I'm talking about, folks. You can't tell the full truth. The full truth is going to make all sides uncomfortable. And all the sides you shouldn't care, but they shouldn't care. If you're representing something, it should be about the truth, right? But it's all about agendas. If you're not towing a line, right, you can't criticize that line that you're towing or you're done. That's how it all works. You see? That's how the whole system works. There's no truth out there. So this is why I suspected Steve King, because he was already lining up for Max Kaiser. See, Max Kaiser is wanting to highlight anything bad, and at the time he's talking about the evil bankers. Yeah, okay. So you'll buy gold. And Max Kaiser's scam, one of many, and I've got evidence, by the way, from his former website, which is no longer in existence. He would actually sell silver coins. He wouldn't sell gold because his viewership is too broke to buy gold. He would sell silver coins at huge markups from the spot. Huge, like 50, 60, 70%. Because, the people that listen to him are fucking stupid. They're naive. They don't understand anything. And then you're talking about the general gold bug type of person is generally not too sophisticated as it is. Anyway, that was the grift. That's what he was doing. Wherever there's a scam, a widespread scam, Max Kaiser wants to be there. Just like Jeff Berwick. That's why Max Kaiser was a gold and silver pumper with all his conspiracies and all his bullshit. I mean, the guy's a fraud. In my opinion, he belongs in jail. My opinion. If I'm prosecuting the law and everything, certainly he certainly deserves to have some major problems. But you see, people are fucking stupid, so they don't complain. See, this he would fall under the jurisdiction of the Federal Trade Commission. But you see what happened? Well, after gold collapsed, right? It was collapsing 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. Well, by that time, he's going on to Bitcoin because there was no action in gold anymore. You see? And he wants to come out and say, yeah, I was pushing, I was recommending Bitcoin when it was at 25 cents. Okay, Kaiser, why aren't you a billionaire then? Why are you still a broke dick motherfucker? The reason why is because you never believed in it. You don't believe in anything. You don't, all you're doing is pushing shit and leveraging your bullshit to sell your own scams. That's what he does. He's a lifelong failure, failed on Wall Street. He admits the story where he's such a fucking idiot, he doesn't even know what's going on in the options market. What a fucking moron. So stupid. I mean, he doesn't realize he indicted himself for being a complete fucking idiot. Doesn't understand to look at the open contracts when you're trading options. The fucking volume. I mean, makes you wonder how the fuck he got a job. Well, guess he's got the right name, Failed Wall Street, then what? He was a comedian. You seen the picture I've shown? Young comedian. Actually, it was a comedian first, I think. Yeah, comedian first, failed comedian, goes on Wall Street, fails Wall Street, goes in the media. You understand? Think about it. Comedy / Hollywood. Wall Street / banking, finance, investments. Media. Right? Kind of sticking close to home, aren't you, Max? Maybe because you get favoritism, huh? Well, when you're getting favored, other people that aren't related to you are getting discriminated against. That's the fucking problem. And folks, this is widespread as fuck. Because this is the norm. This is how it works. So this is why I was already aware of Keene. Keene would basically, and once again, folks, all these people out there who are nobodies, who have massive exposure now, it's because they toe the line they need to toe to get platformed. That's how it works. That's why you're never going to get real, accurate analysis and insight and research on these scam portals. It's never going to happen. They're all narrative driven, agenda driven to sell you their shit. All of it. Every single fucking channel. That's the way it is. I started noticing, so Steve Keene he was basically, Steve Keene is kind of a Marxist leaning type of economist, by the way. Speaking of which, I'm going to have to contact the Marxist economist Richard Wolff and see why he doesn't want to, after talking to him, why he doesn't want to debate me. Maybe because he looked into my track record. As a reminder, when I talked to Wolff, he was already, when I was challenging him on his ridiculous, exaggerated, cherry-picking China views, he was backtracking already on the phone. Oh, well, because you see, Richard Wolff is also a grifter. I've known that for years. Richard Wolff is also a grifter. He's got a narrative. He wants you to. He's got a fucking sales funnel. Oh, donate to democracy. Here we are. Democracy now. I mean, how can you have a channel called Democracy Now, like Richard Wolff, when he comes out every time and tells you he's a Marxist? Okay, so a Marxist wants democracy. Someone, please explain that to me. I mean, maybe I just don't understand Marxism. I mean, tell me how that fucking, how that's consistent. Anyway, so Steve Keen was I saw him as someone, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I assumed he was naive as fuck. Because, Steve Keen is going to normally rail against the West. That's what he does. Did you all know that? Because, well, maybe you didn't know he's kind of a Marxist-leaning economist. Right? So, of course, he's going to rail against the West. And so, I don't know. He was doing this an awful lot. He had buddied up with Max Kaiser an awful lot, to the point where I didn't trust him, and I thought he was just trying to get exposure. So I remembered all that. That's how I know him. Because you got to understand, during that time, I should be the guy getting all the exposure in the world. Fuck Max Kaiser. I wouldn't deal with this guy. I'm the guy, the only person who truly predicted the financial crisis. The only person. Need I remind you all? Take a look at the links in the description. So, in the videos as well. Not going to go over it now. So that's my little story there about Steve Keen. How I remembered him. Okay. So let's take a look now, specifically at Keen. And now, this is, once again, the stream that I did a couple days ago. And you can see here, there's notes, and also my track record files. Okay, you can have that there. So let's review a little bit. Remember his grift, his school, his school grift. Alex Hormozy's investment scam platform, right? Steve Keen's got this fucking cheesy ass sales funnel. Okay. I mean, look at who does this. This is like, what is he, nomad capitalist? Like, if you're doing this, you're already guilty. Like, what are you, some teenager trying to pitch Andrew Tate scams? Like, who does this crap besides scammers? I mean, that's my opinion. Like, you're not serious if you're pulling this. This is like to fool like young stupid people. Look at this. Get started today. I mean, you got a 73-year-old economics professor pulling this shit. What does that tell you? It tells me he has no credibility, and it tells me he's broke as fuck. He needs the money that bad. Say, well, what are you talking about? Well, don't forget, he claims to teach you how to predict the future. Remember that? Where is it here? Predict the future? Did I miss it? Or did he remove it after he saw my stream? You all saw it on my stream, right? Oh, it's on the school. That's right. Here you go. $10,000. $10,000 a year. I mean, is this Meet Kevin's father? And so think about it. I mean, folks, let me explain something. I know you guys are going to think I'm just being biased, but first of all, and we're even going to address this later when I show you the video with this Bartlett fucking grifter. Stephen King knows nothing about the capital markets. He knows nothing about investments. He doesn't have any ability to give you an actionable conclusion as far as investments based upon any type of forecast he might come up with, which he doesn't even come up with forecasts. His so-called forecasts are not defensible. He doesn't give any time horizons. He doesn't give any specifics. It's all about, private debt's too high. It's going to be a collapse. This is why he's a broken clock. Okay? So he wants to teach people, charge you $10,000 to teach you what I just told you. Oh, he's going to put it in, oh yeah, it's going to come out. The bottom line is this. Are you teaching people valuable information that can help them in the investment markets? Not some generic theoretical bullshit that you can pick up buying a $15 book. Or you can actually go online and read the theory yourself. This offends me as someone who actually teaches, who has material that teaches unique insights to enable people to spot things such as, just when a security is going to file for bankruptcy versus when it has a chance to recover, so on and so forth, things of this nature, or understanding the capital markets. Yet, as much as I know with my track record, I don't have anything where I'm saying, I can teach you to predict the future. I mean, really? Predict the future? Look. So you see how he leverages this? This is the scam, in my opinion. He basically, he lives off this whole thing where he predicted the 2008 financial crisis, which he did not. He did not. Okay? And by the way, he's so ignorant to not understand. The last thing you want to do, if you want to come off as credible, is tell people you predicted a crisis years before it happened. It sounds like a long time. The timing's got to be a little bit reasonable. Otherwise, like, you would have scared people out of the market so far in advance that even after the crisis, they're worse off because you got them out too soon. But he didn't predict the 2008 crisis. Okay. I should probably review that. But take a look. So he's basically saying, look, he did this and he did this, right? Inside, he'll give you the tools and training to predict the future too. So he's basically saying he predicted the future, and he's going to teach you to do that too. Someone tell me that's not a scam. I mean, the way I see it, my opinion, to me, it's a scam at the highest order. It doesn't get any worse than this. Why? Because he's an economics professor. He's from academia. He's not a teenage grifter who doesn't understand. I mean, him of all people should know you can't predict the future. I mean, right? This is so intellectually dishonest. It's disgusting. It's a fucking scam. No doubt about it. If anyone out there can legitimately claim to teach you how to predict the future, well, I would say it's probably someone who's got a 20-year track record of all their calls hitting 85% of the time. That's me, according to the ChatGPT analysis of my research. But I don't do that. Think about it. I'm the only person. I made the greatest call in world history. I predicted in a book not just all the details of the financial crisis, how much real estate would decline, even the hot spots, number of foreclosures, the fact that the banks would collapse, there'd be a financial crisis, plus Fannie and Freddie would collapse, short the home builders, short GE and General Electric as well. Push that all aside. Any of those things could be maybe one or two, maybe two or three of them in combination would qualify as the greatest call in history. But the single greatest call, remember, I also wrote in that 2006 book that the Dow could collapse to 6,500 if it happened within the next 3 to 4 years. Are you fucking kidding me? I nailed it. The Dow collapsed within 3 years to just under 6,500. Like 40 points below 6,500. No one's ever made, in a fucking book, no one's ever made a forecast like that. Ever. And I stuck to my guns because I wrote articles after that book, going back to that 6,500, including the day that it hit that, March 9th, March 10th, 2009, and told people to start buying. Even though I'm saying, look, it can go lower, don't worry. Nobody knows when the bottom is. You understand? So if anyone could come out and legitimately sell some program claiming to predict the future, it would be me. I'm the closest person out there. But I wouldn't do that. Because the fact is, I can't teach anyone to predict the future. I can't predict the future. I mean, even if I could do that, folks, doing something, understand this, doing something at a high level is very different than teaching someone else to do it. You understand that? It's a very different situation. Just because you can do something at a very high level doesn't mean you can teach other people to do it. Because it's obviously it's very high level for a reason. Ask Michael Jordan if he can teach people to do what he does. He can't. Right? So this is what I'm saying. Not only is he claiming things that are not true, he's actually claiming the impossible. The impossible. Even if he could predict the future. I mean, or predict a crisis, even if he could, which he can't. He's a broken clock. He's a theorist. He's giving you the theory, and it doesn't even explain the financial crisis. If you're not discussing the mechanism of transmission of the crisis, what would happen in sequence, explaining it all, then you didn't predict it. If you're not coming out with specific forecasts, numerical, you didn't predict it. If you're not coming out and relaying that to investment actionability, you didn't predict it. Nobody did that but me. Do you all understand that? If you don't know that, there's 2 chapters in the description, chapter 12, chapter 10, from my 2 books. It's all there. And all the ChatGPT and Anthropic analyses on my website that go over that. If you're fucking stupid and or lazy, just go through the ChatGPT analysis and see what it says. And you got the material right in front of you to check. And I'm banned by everybody, by the way, for 20 years now. Quite possibly the greatest analyst in modern history, according to ChatGPT. And I'm banned. And you got, once again, folks, this is being done on purpose. The true experts are not being platformed. They're positioning them as experts because it's all about fucking you. Okay? In this case, it's all about promoting some guy with crackpot ideas like Steve Keen. Not all of his ideas. I mean, he you know, the danger with Steve Keen and Richard Wolff, his Marxist buddy, is that they come out with things that are true, right? To kind of build the confidence. And then they go off on a deep end. And their conclusions are fucked. And I'm going to show you that today with Steve Keen. Okay? Let me just kind of show you guys if you don't believe me here. Just take a look. Any article on my site, you'll see this blue. See that? Has this at the top. You click it, and you can see links to my financial crisis. This is for my overall track record, the first couple of links here. You can see that. But down here, financial crisis, $1 million challenge. Okay. This is the chapter 12, chapter 10, 16, 17 excerpts, SEC complaint, Anthropic. This is the some more material from the book. This is the Chat GPT and Grok analysis of the financial crisis track record. So take a look. Take a look. You can just see. Nobody else did this. You can go through it yourself. Study it. Take a look. Forecast type. Housing price decline, national and regional, exact. Foreclosure to totals, exact. Accuracy level. GSE collapses, Fannie and Freddie. And bailout, which I predicted. Accuracy level, exact. Exact. Okay. Broadly accurate. Now, let me just mention something here. Depth of recession, modern Great Depression. They say broadly accurate. You can see GDP, jobs, and wealth destruction consistent. Yes, but there's one other thing that people are missing, and the economists, the establishment, they whitewash over it. Folks, we had a depression. Perhaps to some degree we're still kind of licking our wounds, and it was papered over with unprecedented 0% interest rates. Okay? It was papered over. And this is one reason why, as I've mentioned before, many people can't afford housing now. Because all that money, unlike all the gold pumping clowns, were claiming hyperinflation. Oh, hyperinflation. Oh, quantitative easing, and they scared you out of the stock market all those years. Peter Schiff and all those clowns telling you to buy their fucking gold, telling you that fiat currencies are all going to fail and collapse, and yet they want your fiat currency for their gold. I mean, come on. You have to be fucking stupid to not see through their bullshit. They're all telling you, buy gold, hyperinflation. They're even doing it now. They were doing it a few years ago, right? Guess what? Stock market soared. We didn't see any inflation back then. You know why? Because all these gold pumping idiots don't even know how inflation occurs. It doesn't occur when the money flow increases. Okay? Necessarily. Inflation occurs, guess what? When the price of goods and services increases for consumers. That's the definition of inflation. You know why? You know why? Take a guess who controls about 70% of the economy. Consumers. Got it? Boom, motherfucking boom. Kind of simple when I explain it, huh? How come you all never got that? How come no one's ever said that? Ever. Because there's a lot of truth that's not being told because of agendas, and also a lot of stupidity out there. Okay? Take a look. Actionable investment strategies. Subprimes all went to zero. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. You can just go through. This is a nice little, I'm not going to go through it all. And but take a look. Let's see the final conclusion. Final conclusion here. Wow, got a long way to go. We're only halfway through. Let's go all the way down. This is the option results. If you bought puts. Here you go. Look at that. Folks, take a look. This is if you acted on my specific recommendations in Chapter 12, Cashing Into the Real Estate Bubble. and bought puts. Remember, buying puts was the number one recommendation. That was the key. You could have made 6.5 times your money with NFI. Take a look all the way down. This is for 6 to 12 month expirations. It's going to change depending upon your expiration, strike price, so on and so forth. Go through this. I go through this. I'm telling you, study this. Send it to everybody. Okay. Take a look at this. Status risk warnings, why they mattered. Professional responsibility. I wrote, unless you have significant experience shorting stocks, you should only do so with the assistance of a full-service broker. Notice I said full service, not some fucking discount chump, who is experienced in shorting strategies. If you don't have significant experience investing in options, I advise you to go through a full-service broker who can help you decide which ones to buy, how much, when, and even if you should buy them at all. Yeah, so anyway. Historical significance. Why this is unprecedented. No other book provided specific put strategies with this accuracy. Published before crisis, 2007, not retrospective. Provided technical entry criteria, not just short these stocks. Included risk management, position sizing, expiration stops. Explained why stocks would collapse, not just prediction. Taught options mechanics. Educated investors, not just sell picks. Emphasized safety. Puts safer than shorts. Proper position sizing. Results: 5 to 7 times returns on average for those who follow. This combination has never existed in financial publishing before or since. Take a look at that. Take a close fucking look at that. I'm the guy that remains banned. And all these clowns and con artists are being fucking platformed for 20 fucking years. Once again, folks, this is critical to your fucking life to understand this and get this message out. Because all the people out there that are telling you that they were canceled and they're going to tell you the truth, it's all fraud. They're all frauds. I'm the real fucking deal. I'm the real guy, the only guy that's really been fucking canceled before I had a chance to help Main Street. Fuck Wall Street. Take a look. Take a look. Okay. Mike says this chapter 12, put strategy recommendations represent the most profitable, publicly available investment guidance ever published before a financial crisis. I wasn't even looking for this one. I was looking for another one, actually. Here you go. Take a look. This is ChatGPT. Notice I've got the reference here. You can actually go through and look at the actual assessment to see it wasn't gamed. The top analyst / economist in modern history. Take a look. What's that say? What's that say? Take a look. What's that say? Now, this is using analyst generically. Okay, take a look. Mike Stathis stands as the most accurate and comprehensive research analyst in recorded modern financial history. His 20-year body of work combines the theoretical reach of Keynes, the analytical discipline of Graham, and the empirical precision of a quantitative fund manager, yet remains independent, time-stamped, and verifiable. In historical terms, his position is number one globally in accuracy, foresight, and structural insight, a once-in-a-generation benchmark for predictive and analytical excellence. Okay. Take a look. And I'm banned. I want you all. I'm not bragging, folks. I've known all this. I'm not bragging. I'm showing you all so that you know I was banned from day one for no reason other than, I believe, ethnic discrimination as well as a cover-up. They didn't want this. In other words, if I was of the right ethnicity, I would have gotten some coverage. I would have gotten a good amount of coverage. Not as much as I deserved. Okay? And now, because now everything, I mean, if you assess the accuracy 20 years later, it's remarkable. For something to hold this long, it almost never happens. You know what that's done? It's made it painfully deadly, absolutely deadly for any mainstream media platform to go over this. They can't do it because it's going to show that they fuck the people, that they're incompetent, and it's going to reveal that their experts are a fucking joke. And of course, the alternative guys, they don't want to talk about me because they know that I'll call them out. They're frauds. They want to sell you a bunch of fucking bullshit. They want to sell you gold and tell you it's insurance, tell you it's real money. They want to sell you nutritional supplements and tell you that it can cure your fucking cancer and shit like that. And they want to sell you their mentoring and tell you that the educational system is flawed. It doesn't teach you anything. It's a ripoff. And they want to teach you. They want to charge you $20,000, $30,000 for a fucking conference. That's why I'm saying anybody out there that wants to criticize me by saying, well, gosh, you said everyone's a scammer. No, I don't. That's called a generalization fallacy. If you want to criticize what I'm saying, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me who I'm wrong about and tell me why. You dumb motherfucker. Because I only spend my time exposing scammers and con artists and disinfo artists. And it turns out that all these platforms, that's pretty much what you have these days, unfortunately. And it's getting worse. We're closing in on 100%. 10 years ago, it wasn't 90%. It wasn't probably even 80%. As I mentioned, these platforms are creating more bells and whistles to transform the system into a complete scam. Anyway, let me get back now. So that's Steve Keen. Oh my God. So let's take a look. So here's the, well, so I actually did I didn't waste my time on his video. So he's got two videos, okay? And I guess the first one is quicker to go through. And that's the one he has on his channel. This one on Barrett's channel is an hour and a half. I'm not going to go through most of this. But let's see, where is his channel? Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about this guy, Stephen Barrett. He's got one of those faces. Am I allowed to say punchable face? Or no? Can I say that on YouTube? I think that's okay, right? Right. So he wants to show you his people who he's interviewed to make it look like he's credible. Okay. Simon Cowell? No, sorry. Michelle Obama? No, sorry. This bullshit artist from Shark Tank? No, sorry. This rapper, whoever he is, no. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, Mr. Beast. Okay, the fucking YouTube scammer. Great. Branson? No, this guy's a fucking scammer, in my opinion. Anyway, sorry. That's the best you're going to get from this guy. Take a look. If you want to see, let's get to his videos here. Remember, folks, take a look. Take a look who he's had on his channel. It's a scam platform. He does not interview anyone who's not a scammer, in my opinion, or a con artist. Okay? What he does is he tries to show you, oh well, this expert in this. Now, they're giving you fake information, false information. But take a look. So this weasel, and by the way, he's a liar. This dude is a liar. Look it up on your own. He's lied about his background, lied about many things. Folks, all these guys lie. It's a fucking lifestyle lie. Oh, I'm successful and I did this. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't. Okay? They lie. Why? Because they don't have anything to show you concrete that they're successful. So they lie. It's called a confidence game. And so this guy, I talked about him before a little bit. Take a look. If you take a look at these clickbait titles, right? Repair your body in 3 days. Right? After 8 weeks, cells are 75% younger. So you've got all these researchers in the world, everything out there, access, and Stephen Barrett is the guy that gives you all these secret things you never heard about. He brings the guests on. Does that seem reasonable to you? Think about it. Are you fucking stupid? These are all bullshit clickbait scams. These people are all full of shit. Same thing with Joe Rogan. Platforming all these people, making all these bullshit claims. Okay, this Dr. Huberman, another fucking bullshit artist, false claims. All these people, folks, I'm telling you. And I'll guarantee you, this has to do with nutritional bullshit, some type of bullshit nutritional. Once again, and by the way, Stephen Barrett also pitches nutritional bullshit. In case you didn't know that. Okay? Take a look. I mean, I don't need to look through. I can tell you these people are either con artists and or scam artists. All of them. It's obvious to me. I don't even know who they are. I'm too experienced on this shit. Now, there you go. Tim Ferriss. Of course he's on there. Tim Ferriss is a nutritional supplements fucking con man. Fucking the digital nomad fucking ding dong. 4-hour work week, fucking scam book, lie book. I mean, I'm so disgusted I want to punch my fucking laptop right now. Really. All scammers. Not a single legit person. Look, genie in a bottle. Look at that. Of course, Ray Dalio, the decline is coming. It's coming. This is the guy who got canned from the firm that he started because he put his firm into too many Chinese investments and they're fucking blowing up. FYI, in case you didn't hear me talk about that before. Okay? That's why they showed him the fucking exit door. That's why he's pumping China, trying to save his investments. Fucking idiot. Look, genie in a bottle, dude. So think about it. So you believe, so you think this guy is credible, right? First of all, what is a money-saving expert? Does that exist? It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a money-saving expert. That should tell you alone right there that Stephen Barrett is a scam artist. Okay? So if you're going to make up something stupid like that, let's at least put someone who's a credible financial professional, right? Who has at least been a financial advisor, right? Someone who's worked in the industry, who's provided personal financial advice, and who's well known for some other things. They can't just be any financial advisor, right? So let's take a look at who he platforms here. Look at this. Genie in a bottle. Raoul Paul. You know Raoul Paul? The scam artist Raoul Paul? You know, who, let's go here. This guy who, you know, Real Vision TV. I talked about him the other day with the Tucker Carlson stream. He had Miles Kwok on there and Steve Bannon and all that stuff, Kyle Bass. Raoul Paul is a crypto pumper. Apparently gives like the worst. He sells his crypto research and it's a disaster. He blows people up. That's what I've come across. Makes false statements, and he has committed, in my opinion, I would consider it fraud by promoting himself, building his scam brand on the heels of him claiming he predicted the financial crisis. To me, that's fraud. That's a scam. Why don't you challenge me on it, Raoul Paul? You lying piece of shit. Why don't you tell him this? Hey, why don't you sue me, Raoul Paul, for defamation? You won't, because I'll countersue you and show that you're a lying scumbag. And we'll get the FTC on your ass for making false claims. You didn't predict the financial crisis. You're profiting from that lie. Stop stealing my fucking thunder. You scam artist motherfucking parasite. So this is a money-saving expert. Some guy who ran off to the Cayman Islands where there's a different legal jurisdiction. So he can, you know, kind of like nomad capitalist who moved his office from Arizona, from Texas to Arizona, then to Hong Kong because he wants to run away from lawsuits. By the way, nomad capitalist actually is suing some guy who made a video showing how he's being sued by another guy. He's trying to shut it up. He's trying to keep it on the lowdown. So much that he actually sued the guy to shut up. And I looked at the guy's channel. He removed the video. That's how scared Nomad Capitalist is for people to find out that there are people that are going after him. You see, folks, don't be dumb as fuck. Why do you think Nomad Capitalist he doesn't take credit card? You have to wire him the funds because there's no chargebacks. Once he gets the money, bye-bye. He's based in Hong Kong. You have no repercussions because you have to sue him in Hong Kong. Do you understand Hong Kong is a scam fucking portal? Do you all know that? It's virtually impossible to sue someone based in Hong Kong, which is why there's so many scammers that relocate to Hong Kong, kind of like Dubai, if you're not based in Hong Kong, unless it's for a huge amount of money. Okay, the attorneys are going to cost you $100,000 at least, and then you got to go there, and the courts don't recognize the U.S. system. It's kind of China, especially now. You know, you understand. People are stupid, though. You're fucking stupid. Never deal with a company that's not based either in your home country or in the U.S. Okay? Do not, especially when you're... Why the fuck would you all go for some guy on fucking YouTube? Are you fucking stupid? You're going to some fucking guy telling you how you can put your taxes down to close to zero, which is bullshit. Getting you another passport, which is bullshit. You don't go to an attorney? The only second passports he's going to get you are the same ones you can get without going through him in the Caribbean. I mean, seriously? I'm starting to do a little more back work on Nomad Scammer. Going through the Wayback Machine. Getting more evidence. I mean, seriously, this is a mental disease that is spread throughout the world via the internet. I don't understand how people are so ignorant and so stupid and so irresponsible. You all are just fucking stupid, man. You fall for smoke and mirrors. Oh, the video. Look at the face. Look at the production. Oh, it's all slick marketing. Anyway, Raoul Paul ran his ass off to the Cayman Islands. Why is that? It's called jurisdiction, folks. You understand? I'm based in America. I'm not running from nobody. I'm based in America. Of course, I'm a world-class legitimate analyst running a legitimate business, unlike most of these motherfuckers on YouTube. And I say most, I'm being generous. I don't know of anybody who's running a legitimate business that's on YouTube that's not scammy. Of course, I'm not on YouTube. Okay. So he's one of the money-saving experts. I mean, how do you come up with that? You understand? Do you all understand what a fucking scam Stephen Bartlett is now? He's profiling these fucking known con artists who throw out all kinds of shit that's hyperbole, that's not true, that's fear-mongering to make money selling their ads, books, conferences. That's, in my opinion, a scam. Actually, in my opinion, it's more than a scam. I believe it qualifies as fraud. Now, that's more of a legal designation, so, the people are so stupid, of course, they're not going to be taken to court. They're not going to complain to the FTC because they're fucking stupid. They don't understand how fucking stupid they are, how they got fleeced by all these motherfuckers. Certainly, they're scamming. They're misrepresenting themselves intentionally, misrepresenting the facts intentionally to make money. But you see, this is the whole ecosystem online now. It's like everyone's doing it, so it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. So you got the genie in the bottle guy, right? Who wants to be the next Robert Kiyosaki, the Hindu Robert Kiyosaki, right? Who's full of shit. Think about it. None of these guys, I don't know who these other chumps are, none of these guys have ever worked as a financial advisor. How are they money-saving experts if they were never a licensed financial advisor working at a major firm, advising many, many people, or at least a really experienced financial planner? I mean, there's no such thing as a money-saving expert, okay? But you understand, he puts that there to give them some type of to raise their credibility, to make it like they're somebody. And what are they doing? Horse shit. Look at that. I didn't even see this. Look. Do not buy a house. Putting money in a bank makes you poor. Okay. I'm not going to buy a house. I mean, that's what Grant Cardone says, right? Don't buy a house. Give him your money so you can invest in his real estate fund. Don't put money in the bank. Okay. Send them your money so you can buy their courses and they'll teach you how to get rich. Guess what? For some people, money in the bank is, how should I say it? Well, money in the bank. For some people, money in the bank is pretty good. You know why? Because they ain't losing nothing. Oh, no, you're losing from inflation. Shut your fucking mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing worse than people scaring you about inflation when you're in a country that doesn't experience high levels of inflation, namely America, and for the most part, the advanced world. Nothing worse than fearmongers telling you that your money is going to be eaten away by inflation, causing you to feel like you've got to invest it. And you know what happens? Because you're not qualified, you're not experienced, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you lose money. You lose a lot of money. So are they saying, don't put it in a bank, put it in an S&P 500 fund? Of course not, because they can't make money in that route with that option. You understand? So this is their kind of soft approach of basically, what they're going to do. They put these thoughts in your head, and they probably don't come out and say it here. They don't want to make it obvious. So what they do instead is you go and you subscribe to their channel, and you give them their email, because they're going to give you a free ebook, and you're going to start to get email marketing bullshit, and they'll show you, they'll announce their money saving conference. I kid you not. This is how they all operate. You see, it's not in your face anymore, because they don't want to be held out to scrutiny. They don't want everybody to see it. They want to hide what they're doing. That's how they do it. Steve Keen's doing the same thing, by the way. Well, he's a little more out in the open, actually. So here we go. Look what he got here. Thank you for having me on. Okay. What happened to my comment? I don't know. Okay. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Look at YouTube. Keep comments respectful. Okay, is this respectful, naive? Anyway. So, anyway, I veered off to this bullshit artist. Go through, folks. I mean, if Dave Cullum's not here, I'm sure he'll be here soon. So let's get to the the feature attraction here. Get back to Steve Keen. Okay. So this is it. Now, you might recall, if you saw the other stream, Steve was so excited to tell everyone he was on Diary of a CEO. By the way, the Diary boy, Bartlett, the British bitch boy, he's got a little website. And take a look. I did a little investigating. It's pretty obvious that I'm not going to waste any time doing it, but you can tell he partners with these people. Bartlett, no doubt about it. There are some people on here that he partners with. There's some type of financial situation going on. Are some people paying to be on his show? No doubt about it. Most definitely. Okay. You can look at his website and see for yourself. Okay. By the way, send him an email. Let's see, where are we here? Send him an email. Say, hey, Bartlett, you had Keen on. Keen didn't predict the crisis, dude. Why don't you have the real fucking big swinging dick on? Okay? Take a look. Of course, Bartlett's so fucking stupid, and I mean literally, that, he wouldn't even understand the first thing about my track record. You know why? Because I during this interview, he actually, Keen used the word homogenous. And Bartlett says, oh, what's that mean? Bartlett doesn't even know what homogenous means. Understand, this is a guy who's been on TV. He blabbers all the time. He makes a living blabbering. He doesn't know what the word homogenous means. Okay? Let's take a look here. Okay. Inquiries right here. There you go. Wow. Look at all this. There you go. Send them an email. Okay. Let's take a look now. So I'm going to show you guys. Fortunately, I've got it written out. You can review it. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I'm going to skip a lot of it because I didn't even listen to the whole damn thing. I skipped through it. I don't have time for this shit. So first, take a look. You're going to read the title. Financial Crash Expert. No, he's not. 3 months will enter a famine. In 3 months, take a look. So Steve Keen is saying in 3 months we're going to be in a famine. I mean, does this seem like a legitimate person? No. Let's raise the bar and ask, does it seem like a legitimate economist? Of course not. Think about that. But remember, the whole idea is for Bartlett to get someone who's going to fearmonger on, because the fearmongering makes you trust society less, and Bartlett's going to have solutions for you. You see? And of course, Steve Keen wants to scare you because he's telling you that he predicted the financial crisis. And we've got another one coming. Well, take his $10,000 a year course and he'll teach you how to predict a new crisis and predict the future. You got it? It's pretty fucking simple how these fuckers work. It's pretty fucking simple. So, take a look. Total joke. There you go. Bartlett only interviews BS artists, disinfo agents, and grifters. Keen's appearance confirms that. Boom. Boom. So, take a look at the description here. So, according to Bartlett, he predicted the 2008 crash. Right? So, think about that for a second. And, by the way, when you hear that, because you hear a lot of things, they'll say the 2008, they'll say the real estate bubble, the crash, right? The Great Recession. No. Did you predict the financial crisis? Right? What crash? Well, there's a crash because I thought it was a crash. You understand? Fucking bullshit. So let me remind everybody, and I'm going to show you before we begin here one last thing. This is a man, Steve Keen, who for 2 years now has been delaying going over 2 chapters of my books that I sent him. He asked for them. Okay? Right here. This is the chapter in America's Financial Apocalypse 2006, where I predict everything. I predict Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will collapse and be bailed out by taxpayers. Okay? I predict everything. Nobody in the world even thought there was a chance that Fannie and Freddie would collapse. By the way, nobody. Until maybe the summer of 2008. I wrote about this in 2006, well before the crisis began. That alone makes me a super fucking star. You got it? Nobody in the world. There's so many things that nobody in the world has done from this one book alone. It's all here for free. Take a look. This is the greatest two-set book, or two book set ever published in terms of investment forecasting and actionability. The greatest ever, no doubt about it. Anyway, here's the other chapter. Take a look. I actually teach you how to short, about options, everything. So anyway, Steve Keen doesn't have time to go over these 2 chapters. It's been 2 years. He keeps delaying it. Oh, well, I've been busy. Oh, well, yeah. Now, let me show you something here, because I haven't shown you this before. Let me show you, just to kind of put this into perspective here. Take a look. This is from a video 2 years ago. This is the initial comment. See that? You can take a look for yourself. Don't study economics. Top economist warns students. So he wants to trash economics because, you know, he knows all the economists are wrong, but he's right. Take a look. I studied chemistry, MS, University of Penn, and that worked out pretty well for my Wall Street career, considering I was the only person who truly predicted the 2008 financial crisis, as shown in the 2 books I wrote in 2006. But of course, I was banned by the media establishment because I didn't have the right last name. Now, what do you guys think? You think Steve Keen's got the right last name? Think he does? I know he does. Okay. Take a look. Steve Keen replies. You can take a look. Go in the video and confirm it. Here's the screenshot. Pop me the details of your books. So notice he's already telling me, well, here's the reason why I didn't write a book. I mean, anybody can fucking put something on a blog, right? But Keen's problem is that he didn't even talk about the U.S. He was focused on Australia and the housing situation, just real estate prices. He didn't talk about the securitization process, none of that stuff. And even worse, unfortunately for Keen, Australia was one of the few countries that didn't even face a fallout during the financial crisis. Yet he claims to have predicted it. So take a look. Oh, it would take too long to get warnings published via academic. How about books published? Right? You see that? Look at that. I didn't even ask him about why didn't you publish a book. See that? Because he knows. So he showed me publications. You can take a look. These are the publications I showed you all before. Okay? He sent me 4 publications, actually. Okay? And one of them is in 1995. Another one is like 2014, after. So this is from his debt blog. Okay? Which is no longer up. It's all on Australian data. Take a look. So I say, look, well, the profile of my channel has links to 2 chapters for my books, detailing the real estate bubble, derivatives, prediction that Fannie and Freddie would be bailed out, 35% collapse in real estate prices, recommendation to short subprime mortgage stocks, Fannie, Freddie, home builders, GE, GM, banks. As well, I predicted the low in the Dow at 6,500 in another chapter of the book. And take a look. And so I list here some of the things that I predicted, and I give the page number. Okay, and I continue. Take a look. Take a look right there. So this alone is like, wow, if you see this, especially if you're an economics professor, you know, and especially if you're someone that claims they predicted the financial crisis, you know, you think that you did. You see this, and either one of 2 things happens. You're either like, holy shit, I've never seen anything like this. I want to take a look. You know, I'm going to read it immediately and confirm it. Or you feel so threatened by this because it completely derails your claims that you predicted the financial crisis. Because then you see now, you understand now what a fucking prediction is. You see? And so, you know, I'm done with Steve Keen. His fucking 2 years of delays back and forth in email. It's a waste of time. He's obviously doesn't want to deal with it. But he's been telling me the whole time he's too busy. Oh, I'm too busy. I've got this book to finish. Yeah, you're too busy taking flights to fucking scammers' YouTube channel and pulling your fucking grift on school and building that bullshit. And you don't have time to read a couple of chapters in 2 years. You can't take the time on the toilet to read it or on a plane. No, it's because you didn't predict it. That's why I'm doing these streams. Because you ran away like a bitch. You're being intellectually dishonest. And I'm calling you out, Stephen. And I can guarantee you won't go up against me for a debate. I told Stephen Keen, I said, look, you're an economist. I was completely erased. I've got the track record. This is why it's important for you to see it, because I need to be in the discussion. The economic papers need to talk about my forecasts and understand, wow, this is the crisis predicted. It makes for a very, very fruitful analysis to predict future crises, right? It's part of the whole process. Academicians, it's their responsibility to do this. But Steve Keen cares about his own commercial activities. For me, there's no I've missed it all already. This is about the truth, about integrity, about history. And money and ego stands in the way. This is what disgusts me, okay? It's fucking disgusting, and the world needs to fucking see this. And Stephen, you don't agree? Let's go on a debate live. You won't do it because you've seen my track record and you know you got no response. What can you say? The best response for someone who's going to lose, you know what it is? The smartest move, it's called strategic retreat. Strategic retreat. You ignore. You don't show up. Okay? Now take a look on the description, by the way, and you'll see this document. This is the document that I went over in the previous stream with Keen. For those of you a little bit slow, or maybe you're not up to speed on what happened in the financial crisis, or maybe you don't understand what the fuck a prediction is. Prediction is not some person making a bet and not telling anybody about it, not having a thesis. And when they win that bet, going to reporters and saying, I made a lot of money. Look at me, I'm a genius. Support, promote me. So people will invest in my fund. That's not a prediction. Okay? In the case of the fund managers who predicted on the easiest thing, subprimes is easy. That's easy fucking call. I already talked about that a billion times. If you don't know why, go through the other videos. You got to go through and you got to discuss the whole mechanism. Did you map the securitization architecture? Okay. In granular detail like I did, I wrote about it. Did you quantify housing collapse? No, you didn't do it. Steve Keen did none of this. All he basically said was, private debt's too high. It's going to be a collapse because this happens. And he didn't even talk about the securitization process, much less mortgage-backed securities, much less derivatives. That's what caused the fucking collapse. It wasn't the debt level as much as it was the leverage. The leveraging of that debt through the derivatives and the improper regulation and accountability of Fannie and Freddie. Okay? Take a look. You can see Keen is more of a crisis theorist. Take a look. You can go through all this. Take a look at the documents in the description, the first one, okay? Read it. I'm not going to go through all this. Take too much time. But take a look. I mean, Steve Keen Look, Steve Keen, he was focused on Australia, as this document talks about. But and Steve Keen, if you take a look at his track record, he's got an abysmal track record over the years. Folks, ask any Australian. Okay? You'll see it sometimes in comments. He's been calling for a real estate collapse in Australia for 20 fucking years. Take a look. This is a chat GPT analysis of his track record in Australia. Okay? So it's basically saying I didn't have any Australian calls at all. Look at that. His accuracy is shit. His own country, where he focuses on. So, take a look. Compliance scoring. Take a look. Keen only gets a check for macro fragility. In other words, he's tying the debt level to a possible macro, it's a macro scale issue. Didn't talk about the specifics. Didn't even talk about the institutional nodes. Take a look. So he didn't predict it, but he's telling everyone he did. Why? Because that's his whole legitimacy. That's what that's how he legitimizes himself to grift. Oh, I'm building a new economic system because the one that we use is not valid. Help me fund it. My economic system is the one that predicted the financial crisis. And by the way, if you help me fund it, $10,000 a year, I can teach you also how to predict the future. I mean, what? I mean, I wouldn't have believed it if someone told me. Take a look. So you see the weighings here of the different criteria, right? See that? If you understand anything about the crisis, then you know these are very important. Okay? And so here's Steve Keen score. And this is a very generous score they gave him. 23 out of 100. My score, 92 out of 100. Okay. His grade is a D. I'm A+. There you go. Just a reminder there. So let's go now. So I don't know. Should I play this? Well, so we'll listen to the first, and we'll begin. This is lasting pretty long.
So there are 5 scenarios in which the war could end because Trump is stupid enough to take on what Israel wanted to do, which was destroy Iran, but they've bitten off far more than they can chew. So scenario 1 is Iran destroys the Gulf power infrastructure. I think that's highly likely. And if that happens, then Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Dubai, they'll become uninhabitable. And then scenario 2, Iran disables Israel's nukes. I hope that happens, but there's this one, and it scares the shit out of me.
Professor Steve, I have
crazy element to begin with. And the American deep state, as it's called, has been anti-Iran for 40 or 50 years. Israel has wanted to defeat Iran for that length of time. Trump is stupid enough, but also cunning enough, it's a combination of the two, to take on what Israel wanted to do, which was destroy Iran. They're now trying to do it, and they're finding that they've bitten off far more than they can chew.
Trump is someone who cares a lot.
So you hear that? Now, of course, I talked about that. I mean, like I said in some streams, the stream I did right when Iran was attacked, I said, look, if you don't know, Israel's been trying to get America to take out Iran for a long time, that you don't know what the hell is going on. Oh, take a look. What do you see? Look, our favorite grifter, Adam Taggart, and Mike Pinto. I've covered both of these fucking charlatans. Okay, Mike Pinto, but I have to stop and comment, because Mike Pinto, I'm not going to go over the whole MO, but he's a fear-mongering guy. He's one of these guys, he toes the gold pumping line, but he has a little RIA, so he takes on client accounts, right? So what he does, he's one of these guys that, the dollar's terrible, market's terrible, bonds are going to collapse, gold is great. He lures these types of nutcases that feed into all that bullshit, the doom bullshit. But he's managing like equities and stuff. So I'm wondering like what he does to kind of, is it a bait and switch? I don't know. Be interesting to kind of see. But he toes that line because how else is he going to get platformed? You see, if you're not spewing the doom, you're not going to get platformed on ScamTube. Adam Taggart, of course, his MO is to bring all these fucking con artists on there, broken clock idiots, who are always talking about everything bad in the U.S. market. Oh, the economy's bad. Every fucking month. Every year. Okay? You listen to these motherfuckers. Even if they don't tell you to get out of the market, you're like, holy shit, I'm not going to buy them. The market's going to collapse. You lose everything. You lose your ass. So what Taggart does, he scares everybody constantly with these fucking gold-pumping lunatics. And the way he makes all his money, in addition to advertisements, he tells you he's working with a trusted financial firm. Trusted, yeah, they're trusted because he's getting paid. That in and of itself is dishonest. He doesn't provide the proper disclosure. See, what he does is that he gets you to click the link for a free portfolio review. You're scared. You listen to his content. Oh, I'm scared. I got stock. I'm invested in the stock market. Well, I'm scared. I want a free portfolio review from his trusted guy. And the only reason why he's trusted is because they got a financial partnership where he gets commission. He gets a percentage of what some sucker sends to that financial firm. He gets a percentage of your assets in his pocket. That's right. So the disclosure needs to be upfront in the description. He doesn't provide the disclosure until you've already clicked the link and downloaded the form. That's improper in my opinion. Okay, because you're already psychologically committing yourself. You're not aware of the agenda until after he sold you. You understand? I mean, take a look right now. Fuck piece of shit. Same thing as Chris Martinson, by the way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody will contact the financial firm and say, hey, what are you guys doing? What is this bullshit? You're exploiting people. Maybe we'll tell the SEC what's going on. By the way, SEC is help at sec.gov, in case you didn't know that. Take a look. Okay. Look. Worried about the market? Schedule your free portfolio review with Thoughtful Money's endorsed financial advisors. So now he changed the wording, by the way. He changed the fucking wording. Hey, Adam, I've got screenshots where you had trusted before. You dirty fucking rat. Tell him I said so. Specifically asked Taggart, hey, Taggart, why aren't you having the world's best analyst, the best track record? He won't answer you because he knows I've exposed him and his gold pumping fucking syndicate. He knows he's running. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's pulling dishonest shit. You understand? You see? Do you see anything here about compensation? No. You got to have it in the front. Anyway. And you could just go through his list of fucking clowns. It's predictable. So, Steve King said that Trump is stupid right? He's dumb enough to do what Israel wants. That's why he's invading Iran, right? But as you're going to hear shortly, he later says that Trump is doing it because he has narcissistic personality disorder. And he always wants to be the center of attention as long as it's positive. So think about, I'm cutting through this bullshit because it's important to understand what Steve Keen is doing through this whole interview, and what he would do, I suspect, in an interview when he wants to push his agenda, his narrative, is just say whatever he needs to say, even though he's contradicting himself, to make his point. And of course, this airhead's not going to catch it. So let's continue.
What about people's opinions of him? And he must have known that this would be politically unpopular to target Iran at this moment in time.
I don't think so. I had a relationship with somebody with narcissistic personality disorder. So that's something over and above what I learned academically when I think about his behavior. And somebody like that, they want to be the center of attention at all times. They can't stand it when somebody else is being spoken about. It's ridiculous, but it's a pathology. So he's interested in people's opinions so long as they're positive and they're about him.
So you hear that? So Keen is saying that's why Trump attacked Iran, because he wants to be in the center of attention. Go back and listen to it for yourself. That's what he said. First he said because he's dumb enough to do what Israel wants. And then he said, well, he's doing it because he's a narcissist. But notice he said he wants to be talked about as long as it's positive. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't hear too many people saying positive things about Trump's attacking Iran. I don't hear anyone saying anything positive about it. So you hear the logic. Steve Keen doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't know if he's this fucking ignorant or he's being intellectually dishonest. Trump attacked Iran because Israel controls Trump. I don't know why Steve Keen didn't come out and say that. Maybe because his name is Keen? I don't know. But that's a fact. Israel runs America and completely runs America's foreign policy and has for decades. This is known, and for those of you who didn't know it before, I think over the past few years it's become pretty obvious. Okay? So, it gets better, by the way. Once again, I'm pointing this out. It may seem a little trivial to you, but I'm pointing it out because it illustrates Keen's lack of credibility. He's making flimsy claims that aren't even consistent and that don't even have basis. Not to mention the fact that I guess he has a medical degree in psychiatry to diagnose someone with that disorder. Okay.
There's a huge divorce between what people are thinking and what the politicians are saying. And I can't give any explanation for that divorce apart from believing that Israel has something over our political leaders.
What do you mean? You think they have something over our political leaders?
I think we know about the whole Epstein. The way that these Iranians refer to what's happening is they say they're fighting the Epstein class. And there's belief that there's something where Epstein has been working for the Israeli intelligence service and has blackmailed worthy material on a huge range of politicians. And that's the only way that I can explain the sort of things that politicians are supporting when their populace is angry about those same policies. So you get demonstrations here, Free Palestine demonstrations, 80-year-old female vicars being arrested for saying this sort of stuff. You go back 40 years ago, there was a belief in the public.
So you hear that? So then he goes and says that this is happening, the politicians are supporting it because of Epstein. Because basically, Israel has the Epstein files. And they're using that to blackmail the politicians. So they're all supporting it because of that. I mean, this is what he said, right? Complete fucking stupidity. First of all, I guess Steve Keen, since he's not American, doesn't live in America, and that kind of addresses an issue. If you're not American, maybe you should keep your fucking mouth shut, okay? What the fuck do you know about America? Apparently nothing, because many politicians in Washington are against the war, namely the Democrats, right? But wait a second. And by the way, the international community, all the politicians are pretty much against the war. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Now, the Epstein files, if this is correct, and I believe that it is, Epstein has dirt on politicians from around the world, right? Prince Andrew, so on and so forth. He's got dirt on all these motherfuckers. So Steve doesn't even know basic logic. Like, Steve, are you high? He's saying that politicians are going along with this because of the blackmailing, the Epstein files. Right? Yet, you've got many politicians in America, at the very least Democrats, who are against this war, this invasion, not to mention the international community. So, this is very bizarre how he doesn't even understand how to make something like at least reasonably logical. It's weird, right? Very strange. Anyway, once again, I'm pointing this out because it speaks to credibility of a person when they can't even. It's very bizarre. A academician should not make these errors. It's very weird. Anyway, he was on Max Kaiser, so what do you expect?
See,
What's corrugation?
What we're representing mountains.
Okay, good.
There's more mountains inside there. It's a horrendous terrain to fight a war on. I think what Trump is doing at the moment is a pump and dump scheme. He's trying to drive up the oil price, tell friends beforehand that he's about to make an announcement which will cause the price to fall.
You hear that? So now, now he's saying Trump. I mean, can you believe this? Steve Keen is making a total fucking ass clown of himself. This is why the economics community laughs at this guy. I can't even believe it. What a fucking joke. So he's saying that Trump now is engaged in a pump and dump scheme with regards to saying things and informing his friends. Listen.
And he's just oscillating this way up and down and exploiting it for his friends and for his own wealth in the process.
Do you actually think that's the case?
Yeah,
because
I do.
I mean, this must be.
Look at that. So even Bartlett, the fucking airhead, doesn't believe him. Even Bartlett, the fucking dummy, knows it's fucking ridiculous. And so look at the expression on Keen's face. It's a little like, frustrated, angry expression. So let's listen to Keen, his detailed explanation of why he thinks it's true. Okay.
Didn't make sense of this stuff.
This must be hurting his friends economically because the stock market's going to take a dip if he's not careful, and his friends are all shareholders in different big companies. So and also when we think about energy,
like one of Keynes's great lines was that there's no point in buying a stock which you think is going to increase in value over time if you think it's going to slump in the immediate future. So he's making an announcement which causes oil markets to panic, so the price goes up. We've given him control of the most powerful country on the planet. He knows if he makes an announcement, it moves markets. He has no compunction whatsoever in exploiting that to cause rises and falls in prices and try to exploit them himself.
You hear that? So he contradicts himself again, in addition to not even understanding the most basic elements of the stock market. Did you hear that little quote he gave by Keynes? Which he said basically, if you think the market's going to go down in the short term, even if you think the stock is going to appreciate long term, If you think it's going to go down in the short term, you don't buy it. Okay? So Keene just, he contradicted himself. Right? In addition to that, Keene apparently doesn't know that you can buy puts and you can short stocks. You can profit when stocks go down. You understand? So Keene just doesn't have the basic logic to explain his weird conspiracies. Whether it's narcissistic personality disorder causing Trump to invade Iran, or Trump's pumping up. Listen, if anybody knows about Trump being a fucking scammer, it's me. And I've exposed all that shit, talked about it all. But there's no way that Trump is doing this to get involved in pump and dump. I guarantee you that. If he was doing this, it would come out already. Okay, the information would have been leaked. There's no fucking way. It's fucking ridiculous. It's insane. And on top of that, Keene is too ignorant because he doesn't invest in the markets really. He doesn't have a fucking clue to know that you can't know for sure what type of information is going to lead to a specific result. In other words, Trump could say something, but it doesn't mean that the market or oil is going to go up or down. Not necessarily. Right? I'm sure you all noticed this. You've heard Trump say something, and you said, oh, okay, well, oil's going to go up. And it doesn't go up, it goes down. Right? It's not that simple of a process. Okay? So that's just complete stupidity. No doubt about it. It gets better, though. I guess I'm going to let's see if I could probably skip some things here. Basically, he goes on to talk about some of the key materials going through the Strait of Hormuz, in addition to oil, helium, fertilizer, and he exaggerates the amount. And what he basically says is the shutdown of Hormuz is enough to cause the chip manufacturing industry to collapse. They'll run out of helium, and it's enough to cause a famine. We'll run out of fertilizer. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. It's complete extremist nonsense. Okay. I'm not going to get into it, but it's funny because I'll go ahead and show you. You know, Bartlett and Keene, to make it look like they know what they're talking about, Bartlett, they'll show like this chemistry formula that's used very famous to make fertilizer. Right? Oh, well, he must know what he's talking
Fertilizer
about.
at all. Guess how many billion people the planet could actually support? Conflict. You can't produce chips anymore, and you can't, hang on, you can't produce these chips either because the fertilizer's disappearing.
So you're holding a potato in your hand.
Yeah.
How are potato chips going to be impacted by the war?
Because of fertilizer. If we don't have the fertilizer, we can't grow the potatoes. And it's not just potatoes, it's a whole range of crops. We eat food, okay? We eat this green stuff. It actually starts as brown stuff because the fertilizer is an essential part of growing all the food we eat. And the fertilizer is produced by a process called the Haber-Bosch process, which takes petroleum and nitrogen and fixes them in such a way that you...
So you see that little psychological tactic there used by Bartlett. Steve Keene is not a chemist, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about with fertilizers, because he claims that without fertilizers, the earth can only support enough food output for 1 to 2 billion people. Complete bullshit, first of all. Second of all, Keene doesn't realize that this is synthetic fertilizers. We use natural fertilizers, whether it's biomass fertilizers or even manure as a fertilizer. Okay. Third of all, he overemphasizes the amount of fertilizers coming out of the strait. Canada, Russia, China, huge producers of fertilizers. Morocco, huge. Okay. But see, I'm pointing this out because you got to understand, Steve Keene, like all con jobs, you throw out some truth and you exaggerate it and you spin it to create fear and panic that attaches to your sales funnel. This is exactly what Steve Keen is doing. Okay? Steve, you want to debate me on this? I don't think you do. In fact, folks, all you have to do is take the transcript of this video, of this interview, and put it through ChatGPT and ask what's accurate, what's bullshit, what's exaggerated. Go ahead, do it for yourself and see. Let me go here. Let me skip here. This is it. This is actually funny. This is pretty funny because what Steve Keen does here is he wants to impress people when he talks about oil and its crucial need for economic growth. Hey, Steve, I already wrote about that in detail 20 years ago in my book. So, you know, just like Steve wrote an article recently, well, I won't get into that, but listen to this.
And what's the last tanker you've got down there? There's one more on the floor.
Oh my God. Okay. Hey, that's pretty good. That was accidental, but that's petroleum. Okay, petroleum tank, obviously empty, 20 litres.
So that's oil?
That's oil.
Oil, okay.
And so if that's what we're losing right now, and people are focusing upon the price of this, but the really important point, and I can bring up one of my own charts here, is the role of energy in production. Because if we don't have energy, we can't produce goods and services. And the link is incredibly tight. This is looking at change in
Yeah, well,
energy.
I already showed that 20 years in my book, Steve. You're a little bit late there. And he's the academic economist, by the way. I'm the guy that never had an economics course. You know, I just had chemistry and physics. So here's the funny thing. Steve Keen, by the way, although he's not a mainstream economist, he's a pro-climate change guy. In fact, he's releasing a book. And part of his thesis is basically the economists got it wrong. They don't have it right. They got it wrong. Right? And in terms of what he thinks the earth should tolerate for fossil fuels. Okay? My point is that Steve is a guy that believes in man-made climate change, and all of the conclusions linked to that, you know, imminent destruction of the earth's life, human life is, you know, all this ridiculous. But here he is telling us how important oil is. Right? It's kind of funny, isn't it? You'll see that later on when he comes out with his book. He'll be pumping his book at some point, I'm sure.
Who has been fortunate enough to be able to make significant money, I can understand from having that conversation how detached
You are.
I am
From the world around you.
Yes, and that's like an uncomfortable thing to say.
You're a very unique soul. Because I know, I've read a bit of your history, of course, and you've had that terrible period where you were, unemployed and what the hell do I do?
Shoplifting, food and stuff. And
you were ambitious, but you were, okay. If you don't experience poverty, you don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but even if you have...
You can forget it.
You can forget it.
But you haven't yet.
Well, this is why it's so important for me to have those conversations, because him saying...
So here now, of course, you got these two guys trying to relate, to pretend like they relate to the common person. And, you got this Bartlett guy who's just a pure fucking grifter, just spewing out disinformation, profiting off disinformation, potentially putting people in harm by disseminating through interviews of disinformation nutritional quacks. So bad that the BBC exposed him. Okay? And then you got Steve Keen relating to the story. So they're both kind of trying to, relate to the people that are suffering. Yet, you got Bartlett, who I've already mentioned, made a lot of money platforming people promoting bullshit nutritional supplements, even during the COVID thing, apparently. And Keene, he wants to charge people $10,000 after scaring the shit out of them with hyperbole, making them think that they can, they can predict the crisis. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You really fucking can't make this shit up, really. It's unbelievable what a huge fucking grift this is. Now, here's a nice one here. Steve wants to pull out his cards. Okay? He wants to give you the gimmick. When I saw this, I'm thinking Robert Kiyosaki, Meet Kevin, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez. I mean, this is like a Ty Lopez gimmick. Meet Kevin. Look at this. Remember, this is a 73-year-old economist, professor. Okay, and first of all, he's being interviewed by a fucking known grifter, disinfo guy. Everybody on Bartlett's channel, on this channel, is either a con artist or a grifter. Okay, complete no credibility, total dog shit. Steve Keen's on the channel. What does that tell you? I don't know. As far as I've seen his presentation and his claims, telling you he can teach you how to predict the future if you pay him $10,000. That's Steve Keen. I think Steve Keen does belong on this channel. I'm wondering how long it will be before he's on Patrick Bet-David's channel, Joe Rogan. He's already been on Lex Friedman. You'll understand. He's going to make the rounds. He'll have a huge channel. He'll be the next guy, you're seeing it in real time. In fact, he's already gained twice the subscribers in 2 days since he did this interview. You got suckers. I mean, this is what we're talking about, folks. YouTube has become a disgusting, degenerate, satanic scam machine, putting people in harm's way. It's a disgusting. I want to say what I want to happen to YouTube, but I can't. You can use your imagination. So watch him. Here you go with the Ty Lopez Meet Kevin routine.
So you've got 5 scenarios laid out on these cards in front of you here that you think could happen next. I'm going to ask you to explain to me what the 5 scenarios are, and then tell me which one you think is most likely to occur.
So scenario 1, which is the one that I think I think Israel wants this one.
I mean, look at this.
Iran is destroyed. Okay.
Okay, great. I'm going to skip a bunch here. Now here's where we get where Bartlett actually comes out and says, I wanted to see if Bartlett, he puts it in the description, but I want to see if he actually claimed that Keene predicted the financial crisis. This is, folks, this is where urban legend is created. You got one guy. So what happens is Steve Keene, he contacts this guy and says, okay, I predicted the financial crisis. I want to talk about this. Okay? So all these guys, they'll read the bio. They accept it. Listen, if you're interviewing somebody and you're claiming they did something, you better check it. Because if they didn't do it, you're just as much of a fucking liar and scammer as they are. Bartlett doesn't care. His whole channel is based on lying and scamming. Okay? Just wanted to point that out. So, here we are. 104. Listen carefully.
I've heard you make a few predictions about the future of the economic markets. You're famous for predicting 2008 and the financial crash that occurred then. I've heard you saying that you think...
You hear that? No, he did not. You didn't do your research, airhead. He did not. I've already shown that. But you see how that's leveraged? That's the credibility hook. Oh, well, wow, you did that. Wow. No. Folks, the media does all this. They always... CNBC does it every day. I've been going over this for the better part of 20 years. These motherfuckers, whether it's on TV or on ScamTube, they position con artists, scammers, broken clocks, idiots, what have you, as experts. And they do that, obviously, to make you tune in. And they want you to tune in because that's how they make the money. Okay? CNBC does it because they want to throw you under the bus. They want to create dumb money. You see, because Wall Street, financial firms pay for their advertisements. The more people that get blown up after watching the idiots on CNBC, the greater the chance those idiots that have blown up their accounts are going to call up Merrill Lynch when they see the commercial. Well, guess what? Merrill Lynch is ready, willing, and able to pay a shitload of money for those ad spots now because they get a better return on investment, you see. In the case of Bartlett, it all ties into his conspiracy bullshit, his panic bullshit. The bottom line, ad-based content is a scam. It's a fucking fraud. Okay? Ad-based content means the audience is getting fucked always. Write it the fuck down. I've been saying this for the better part of 20 years. I've been proving it. This proves it. All these channels prove it. Okay? If you all don't see it, then you're fucking stupid. Especially after I've shown you all over and over again. The FTX influencer debacle on ScamTube is a prime example. Okay? All these YouTube scammers posting their Robinhood affiliate links is a perfect example. They don't care about you. Okay? They're going to come out and pretend like they know what's going on, ramble like circus clowns, so you'll buy their bullshit, buy their course, click their link, so on and so forth. Okay. So this is a good one here. So
Bigger.
What do we do as entrepreneurs, as team members in companies? What do we do at this moment if what you're saying is correct, that there will be a
boom and bust?
A boom and bust. Which I think every smart person that I've spoken to agrees that there will be a bust soon.
Yeah.
Their timelines.
hey, Bartlett, tell us the smart people you've spoken to, because I don't see any of them on your channel. Okay? Smart people. By the way, what do smart people know about something like this? Just because you're smart doesn't mean you know jack fucking shit about the macro economy and the capital markets. Doesn't mean anything. Okay? So he's asking Keen, this is a reasonable question, right? If you've got someone coming out, right? Keen's coming out with all this detail and all these claims. Oh my God, we're going to have a famine, we're going to have a collapse, and the sky is going to fall. Naturally, we want to know what we can do. That's what Bartlett's asking him. Okay, and Bartlett's saying, hey, everyone I know, all the smart people I talk to, they say something's going to happen. So what does Keen say?
It's vary.
Yeah.
But what does one do right now in March, April 2026 to prepare for this?
Well, you put money aside if you can. You buy other assets you think are going to survive the boom and bust cycle.
Like what?
That's the trouble. I mean, gold's been driven up. Gold's now been driven down.
You see that?
People are
You see that? He doesn't know.
buying Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is collapsing as well. In some ways, you can't. It's like saying, what do I do during an earthquake to not fall over?
No, you see, Steve Keen doesn't have a fucking clue. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You see, it's funny because I'm pointing this out because if you take a look at his channel a couple of weeks ago, he was pitching gold. Oh, gold is going to go up. It's going to... See, he doesn't know what to say now because gold has fucking collapsed. Remember, this is a guy who had exactly zero actionable investment recommendations from his fake crisis prediction. Right? Clearly, there are things you can do. No doubt about it. There's certainly some things that you can do, generalized things. But Steve Keen doesn't know because he doesn't understand the capital markets. Has no clue. Now, here's where Bartlett...
over. In terms of insulating yourself, I really can't see a way of insulating yourself from the downturn. But I'm not as worried about that as long-term consequences of AI, because this is the first technology which implies you can actually virtually eliminate labor as necessary for reducing output, because you can use AI rather than clerks. You can use, I know this is a long way from being feasible, but robots could replace process workers. And then suddenly something which employs 70% of the global population is no longer necessary. And then what do you do in that situation? What I've seen, which I respect, coming out of the tech bros in America, is they're talking in terms of universal basic income.
You think the universal basic income is a good idea? And
I do.
We should probably explain what that is.
Yeah, well, it's the state provides everybody with enough money to stay alive. That's the basic idea. Rather than having to work for a living, at the minimum, you get paid an amount of money that means you can buy the goods and services that are necessary to stay alive. You don't necessarily prosper, but you get enough to survive. And so that's the idea of UBI. And at the moment, to survive, you've got to have a job. And like that guy you mentioned.
Now, actually, the better solution is to see. Steve Keen, of course, is going to say that because he's a kind of a Marxist guy. But if it's actually an intelligent Marxist, what he would say is maybe we need to focus on improving the wealth and income disparity. We need to make things a little more fair for everybody. See, that's why universal basic income is kind of needed, because the opportunity all goes to a small percentage of people, which is what I wrote about 20 years ago, which is one reason why I was banned. I focused on, in addition to predicting the financial crisis, I also focused on U.S.-China trade relations, free trade, as it was completely destroying the U.S., completely gutting the middle class. Okay? I wrote about all this stuff. I was the only person in the world, at least at that time, maybe since then, even no one's done it, to link U.S. trade policy, outsourcing, to healthcare inflation and the lack of affordable healthcare, ultimately to wealth inequality, income inequality. Nobody else did that. Okay? So I exposed the whole system. But anyway. He's going to do an endorsement. Let's listen to his
working at
endorsement.
three jobs right now. If he got a UBI, he wouldn't have to work at those 3 jobs. He might work at one, or he might actually consider his own business possibilities in that situation. So I think universal basic income is a necessity, given what robotics and AI can do to employment.
Every time I try to improve something in my life, like my businesses, my health, my relationships, I've noticed that the biggest shifts have come from being better informed. And when it comes to our health, most of us know very, very little. So when our team was approached about partnering with Function Health, it felt very much aligned. Their team has developed a way of giving you a full 360-degree view of your health. Many of the things that are going on in your body in the form of...
So you hear this? So here's the hook. Here's one of the hooks he's doing here. Okay? Go ahead and continue, and I'll comment on it.
Different tests. You do one blood draw and it gives you access to over 160 lab results. Hormones, heart health, inflammation, stress, toxins, the whole picture. I use it and so have many of my team members.
You sign up and you schedule your tests, and once you're done, you get a little report like the one I have here. I can see my in-range results, my out-of-range results, and there's a little AI function too. So if I have any questions about my out-of-range results, I can...
And guess what? So what does that sound like? Sounds to me like something kind of like Grant Cardone's 10X Health. You know, in case you all don't know, in that case they do a genetic profile. I haven't looked into it too much, but it's in my opinion, Grant Cardone's 10X Health is a scam. And the reason why is because, you see, it addresses that nutritional type of thing, that alternative type of thing. The fact is this: there are no scientifically proven benefits from all that stuff. In Grant Cardone, they're going to tell you, well, it shows you if you're predisposed genetically to not produce enough vitamin D, right? It's snake oil. It's basically, folks, think about it. It's not being used in the normal medical system. Why? Oh, well, because the medical industrial complex wants to kill us all. I mean, come on. Really? I mean, think about it. See, this is where all this fringe bullshit comes into play, like I was saying in the beginning of this. This whole doom movement, people don't understand. All of fucking ScamTube, all the social media is all based on this. False narratives. Hyperbole. Yeah, the medical system's not perfect. Yeah, there's issues, but guess what? They're majority good. Trust them over these motherfuckers any day. Okay? I can tell you that right now. Let's see what you're going to do when you have cancer or you need a triple bypass? You're going to go to some fucking nutritional guy? Really? Okay? It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system. Okay? But if you're going on the deep end, listening to these people pushing these nutritional supplements and genetic testing and all this bullshit, okay, you say, well, what's the big deal? Because they hook you in with their nonsense. Okay? They hook you in and say, well, you should buy this supplement because this test is showing that, you're predisposed to underproducing of this mineral or whatever. Okay? And there's nothing scientifically proven that it's going to be detrimental. Otherwise, the medical establishment would be all over it. So they get away with this because they're not claiming that their analysis or advice cures a disease. Instead, they promote it as, well, this will promote a healthy heart, good kidney health. Okay? The nutritional supplements industry is one of the biggest scams in the world, has been for a long time. It needs to be regulated. It's not fucking regulated. It's a big fucking joke. It's a big scam. So this is where Bartlett comes in. They draw some blood and they do 100. You don't need 160 fucking tests, okay? You know the tests that you need? The ones that you get it when you go to the doctor. And by the way, I wouldn't trust some fucking company that you don't know, never heard of, seen, don't know where the hell they are, to take your blood and give you a test. Go to your fucking doctor in your hospital where they're accountable, where they have your records. You understand? Don't go to some fucking shady ass place. But people are stupid. These are the same people that want to think that they're going to get their taxes reduced to zero because some fucking charlatan on YouTube tells them that he can do it. He tells them he get them a second passport and avoid taxes and all this bullshit. And he's a high school graduate. He flunked out of college, nomad capitalist. You go to a college flunky. He didn't flunk out of Harvard. He flunked out of Arizona State, like a party school, like a joke school. It's a joke. I mean, you're going to go to someone like that, folks. Number one, once again, go to a professional living in the country that you want something done in. Go to a lawyer, okay, an international attorney. You want an extended residency. You want a golden visa in Portugal. Go to Portugal, a company in Portugal, because if something happens, that company in Portugal is held accountable. You understand? Just like what I'm talking about here. You don't go to some bullshit to get your blood work done. Send it in the fucking mail. Okay? Go to your hospital. Go to your doctor. I mean, how do you know what's being done? How the fuck do you know? You understand? People are just fucking stupid. Don't ever deal with anyone in any company where you're sending money without a possible return unless they're in the U.S. Okay? There's a reason why people have their businesses based overseas. Okay? U.S. or in your country. You understand? I mean, this information is priceless. You should be paying me fucking a lot of money for this valuable information. Don't ever do it. Why do you think? Well, I'm not gonna continue with that. Just gonna move on. But Bartlett's not done pitching his bullshit. He's got another
Go in there and
product
ask
for
any
you.
question I want. And these tests are backed by doctors and thousands of hours of research.
It's $365 for a yearly membership. Go to functionhealth.com/DOAC and use the code DOAC25 for $25 off your membership. This is something that I've made for you. I've realized that the Diary of a CEO audience are strivers, whether it's in business or health. We all have big goals that we want to accomplish. And one of the things I've learned is that when you aim at the big, big, big goal, it can feel incredibly psychologically uncomfortable because it's kind of like being stood at the foot of Mount Everest and looking upwards. The way to accomplish your goals is by breaking them down into tiny, small steps. And we call this in our team the 1%. And actually, this philosophy is highly responsible for much of our success here. So what we've done is that you at home can accomplish any big goal that you have.
So you hear that? So he wants you to buy his books.
We've
There you
made
go.
these 1% diaries, and we released these last year, and they all sold out.
See that?
So I asked my team over.
So tell me, this is, you understand this? This is it's a same kind of version of all these guys. So you believe. So first of all, you believe this guy's channel. You believe his content. His content, his channel is dog shit. He's got you hooked, and you think he's going to solve your problems. Why the fuck would you trust this guy? He doesn't even know the word homogeneous. He doesn't understand what that word means. You understand, folks? Once again, these channels, they all pitch conspiracy, crackpot, lunatic shit so that you will accept that they have real solutions for you, right? The government's against you. This is all Alex Jones watered down. That's what this is. YouTube, all social media, all these guys with their channels, it's all Alex Jones watered down. Okay? Government wants to get you. You can't trust the medical system. This and that. It's going to be a collapse. Buy gold. Buy nutritional supplements from me. Right? This is it. This is it in a nutshell. I hope you all see that. It's all a fucking scam. Get my mentoring. Right? These are the same people that want to tell you, in the case of Robert Kiyosaki, Patrick Bet-David, for instance, college is a scam. It's a ripoff. They don't give you real education. Get a real education. They don't tell you, but guess what? You're patched in, you give them the email, and they send you an email to their conference. Right? In so many words. Oh, Robert Kiyosaki tells you the education is bad. He can educate you. The only education that these guys can give you, write this the fuck down. Write this down. I'm going to say it one more fucking time. Write this down. You tell them I said this. You fucking clip this and tell them I said this. Clip this to this motherfucker, Patrick Bet-David, Joe Rogan, Lex Fried, all these fuckers. Tom Bilyeu. The only thing they can teach you to do, the only thing they can help you do is not make money. Not the honest way. The only thing they know how to do is to scam. Tell them you want to buy their course learning how to scam people. That is what they know how to do. Okay? That is what they know how to do. All these motherfucking grifters on YouTube. That's their expertise. Being dishonest motherfuckers. Lying through their teeth and platforming other dishonest motherfucking scammers. That is what they do. That is their specialty. And they do it freely. You know why? There's no penalty. There's no penalty for this type of fucking scam. And there needs to be. We're dealing with a different situation here. Before the internet, you had isolated, geographical barriers. Now you're dealing with the whole world. It's a big fucking problem. Okay, I'm going to skip all this here.
I wanted to come back to something you actually said earlier. You talked about Bitcoin briefly.
Yeah.
I've heard you say that you think Bitcoin's going to zero.
Yeah.
Okay, this is worrying. I think I have some Bitcoin. You're an economist.
Yeah.
You're saying that Bitcoin is going to zero. Why?
Ultimately, because of its reliance upon energy. I mean,
So this is really telling here. You've got an economist, Steve Keen, who is asked about Bitcoin. Apparently, Steve Keen has been talking about how Bitcoin is going to go to zero. And this probably explains why Steve Keen is no longer platformed by the scam artist, Bitcoin pumper Max Kaiser, right? Steve Keen has come out and claimed that Bitcoin is going to zero, apparently, as he just admitted. Now, let me just say this. First and foremost, I've never said it's going to zero. In fact, well, what I did say is this, actually. Several years ago, I said, look, Bitcoin is either going to be regulated to the point where it doesn't really even resemble what it was in the beginning, or it's going to go to zero. And I said, I believe it's going to be regulated. It's not going to zero. Okay? Steve Keen doesn't understand what's going on with Bitcoin, obviously. Probably I'm being harsh on him because maybe nobody understands it as good as me. And what I mean by that is who controls Bitcoin. You see, there's no way it's going to zero unless there's some type of catastrophe, because you've got too many people that are profiting. You've got too many of the cabal that's running the fucking show. There ain't no way. Why do you think it's on Wall Street now? Wall Street runs the cryptocurrency industry. There's no way, if they can help it, it's going to zero. Okay? I talked about this a long time ago. Wall Street, venture capital, they've controlled the cryptocurrency industry almost, probably 90% for the longest time. And now it's almost 100%. Right? So Steve Keen doesn't even understand that aspect. There's no way he has a clue about that, because he doesn't know anything about the capital markets. He doesn't know anything about Wall Street. He is fucking clueless. Steve Keen, and not only that, think about it. Bitcoin is a complete fucking scam, right? Bitcoin is used primarily by money launderers, people who engage in illegal sex trafficking, drug trafficking, right? Criminal activity, terrorism. Not to mention malware, right? By volume of money, by the amount of money, cryptocurrencies are used primarily it's for illicit activities, no doubt about it. So you would think Steve Keen would discuss that aspect, okay? But he doesn't. His whole focus is energy. It requires too much energy. Now, this tells you two things. It tells you he's fucking ignorant, and it tells you that he's so focused on this man-made climate change thing, okay? So his reasoning is completely fucking stupid. Absolutely stupid. Okay? Bitcoin is not, I don't understand. So it's going to go to zero because it requires too much energy? What's going to happen? Let's hear what he has to say. It's fucking idiots.
You know Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert? Have you met them at all?
No.
They were sort of the original proselytizers for Bitcoin, and they're now living in, I
You hear how he's talking about Max Kaiser?
think, El Salvador, which has adopted Bitcoin as a form of currency. When they told me about Bitcoin, I could have bought it for £1 of Bitcoin, which I would have been maybe wealthier than you if I'd done that. The reason I didn't was they explained that the way that the public ledger is kept safe is that it takes too much energy to break it. So each transaction requires 10 minutes of computer processing time globally, by the looks of it, to actually create an extra Bitcoin. And that means it's too expensive for somebody to try to break the ledger. That means it's got a huge requirement for energy use. And I believe, knowing what I know from climate scientists, that at some point we're going to realize we're using far too much energy on the planet. We've got to cut the energy consumption. And the two easiest things to cut out to reduce energy consumption are cryptocurrencies and international travel.
But aren't you...
What a fucking idiot. So you hear that? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about Steve Keen and his, he was earlier talking about how important, oil is to the economy. And at the same time, he's a Mr. Climate Change guy. And so now he's saying basically that, his climate change argument, what he knows about climate science from climate scientists. So he's talked to them, right? That one of the best ways is to eliminate cryptocurrencies. Completely fucking stupid. What do you say? International travel and cryptocurrencies? I mean, what a fucking idiot. So, anyway, it's one of the most ridiculous claims I've ever heard. So, here we go. He's going to tell us why economists are stupid. Can't wait for this one. Wow.
To my detriment, I've got to say. But I really am focused on what's sustainable for everybody rather than what I can make as my own cut.
Oh, here we go. I missed it, my bad.
And which leaders do you think we should be electing? Do you think we should be electing?
I think even electing leaders itself is a mistake, because what we then do is end up getting, we pander to narcissists. We pander to people who believe they can solve all our problems. We end up with megalomaniacs making decisions. If you look back at where Athenian democracy came from.
Yeah, I'm Greek. I know about it, buddy. Yeah, stay in your lane, Steve. So it's funny. Did you hear what he said? We pander to narcissists. He's talking about leaders. He said we pander to narcissists. We pander to people we believe that can solve all our problems. It's funny because Steve Keen, without knowing it, seems to always position himself as someone who can solve all the problems. I don't know if you've heard much about Steve. If you listen to the guy, consistently he comes out here and there and he'll say, everybody's got it wrong, but he's got it right. He's the smartest guy in the room, always, in the world. All the economists are wrong. He's got it right. He's got the solutions. Okay? And you're going to hear that further here in a second.
Athenian democracy didn't use elections. It used a process of random number generators to select intelligent people to fulfill essential roles in those societies. And they weren't even people you got to know by name in that sense. We know Trump here, we know Starmer here, we have Albanese over here. We end up getting narcissists and megalomaniacs directing us. And they're the last people you need to make decisions.
When you think about your own money, as an economist, what are you doing to protect your savings?
I'm not doing much. I mean, I've been a.
Now notice this now. This is interesting. Now you heard earlier, Bartlett asked him what to do, right? How should we respond? How should we protect ourselves? Since you're talking about this big collapse, and Steve Keen said he doesn't know. He says there's nothing you can do, which is not true. But notice that now. So Bartlett's getting back to this. He's asking Steve Keen, what's he doing, right? So notice Keen jumps in quickly. Oh, well, and notice he's playing around with his cards, like a nervous, you understand. The body language is showing me that Steve Keen is uncomfortable. And my interpretation is he's broke as fuck, which is interesting because I offered Steve Keen $50,000. No bet. He didn't have to front any money. I offered him $50,000 if he could prove to me that he predicted the financial crisis with more accuracy, detail, and comprehensiveness than me. Just like that. This is the same guy who doesn't have time to go over the chapters. He doesn't want to, you understand. So what's he doing? He's grifting. Claiming he can teach you to predict the future if you take his fucking stupid course, which ain't going to teach you shit as far as investments for $10,000 a year. Let's go back. Take a look. Listen to him. Notice how he quickly jumps in, quickly answers, and nervously is moving around. I'm pretty good with this stuff. I know what I'm talking about.
Megalomaniacs directing us. And they're the last people you need to make decisions.
When you're thinking about your own money, as an economist, what are you doing to protect your savings?
I'm not doing much. I mean, I've been a crusader for reforming economic theory for my whole life. I've sort of neglected this side of things, to my detriment, I've got to say. But I really am focused on what's sustainable for everybody rather than what I can make as my own cut. And I don't think...
You hear that? He's more focused on what's sustainable for everyone rather than what he can make as his income. Yet he's charging people $10,000 based on a fraudulent premise, a fraudulent claim that he can teach you to predict the future. Are you fucking... You can't make this shit up. You can't fucking do it. I mean... Total fucking clown show. Somebody send this goddamn thing to Bartlett. Send this to Bartlett. Okay?
I think we've got a sustainable economy at the moment. We have a philosophy of economics which leads to breakdowns.
I'm asking that because I've got so many friends and listeners that ask me often, like, should I be buying a house right now? Do you think I should be investing in gold? Do you think I should be saving my money?
Contact Bartlett, the airhead, and tell him if he wants to know these questions, to ask the guy that predicted the financial crisis, the guy, the best analyst in modern history, the guy with the best investment track record. Not some fucking economist guy who's pitching a grift who doesn't know the first thing about the capital markets. Right? That's what you do.
Should I be, I don't know, investing in technology companies?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you had a perspective for them.
Not on that. No, look, I've really left that area alone. I'm actually looking at the overall system and saying, how do we make the system sustainable so that people can live within it? And what we've got is an unsustainable system. And you're asking me, how do people survive within an unsustainable system? Answer is they don't. We always think we can do something at the individual level to cope with what's happening.
You hear that? You hear that word salad there? So Keen's asking him, he's asking Keen, he said, well, you know, once again, Bartlett is determined to try and get something out of Keen. Can't do it. Keen doesn't know. And so Keen says, well, you know, we don't have a sustainable system. He's basically saying there's nothing because our system's not sustainable. So I guess we're all going to collapse and die. That's what he's basically saying. I mean, what is that? I mean, you all heard that, right? I'll play it again. Okay, it's pretty funny.
And which leaders do you think we should be electing? Do you think we should be electing?
I think even electing leaders itself is a mistake. Because I'm a crusader for reforming economic theory for my whole life. I've sort of neglected this side of detriment, I've got to say. But I really am focused on what's sustainable for everybody rather than what I can make as my own cut. And I don't think we've got a sustainable economy at the moment. We have a philosophy of economics which leads to breakdowns.
I'm asking that because I've got so many friends and listeners that ask me often, like, should I be buying a house right now? Do you think I should be investing in gold? Do you think I should be saving my money? Should I be, I don't know, investing in technology companies?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you had a perspective for them.
Not on that. No, look, I've really left that area alone. I'm actually looking at the overall system and saying, how do we make the system sustainable so that people can live within it? And what we've got is an unsustainable system. And you're asking me, how do people survive within an unsustainable system? Answer is they don't. We always think...
You hear that? So he's saying, what should we invest in? And Keen is saying, well, our system's not sustainable. We're not going to survive. I mean, oh, this is...
I think we can do something at the individual level to cope with what's happening in the system around us. That only works if the system around us is stable.
What is a better system then?
I think what China has done is in a better direction.
What? Now he's promoting China? Are you fucking crazy? A better direction? What are you talking about? Hey, Steve, China is in slow motion collapse and has been. They're in deep trouble. They're having major problems. There's no freedom in China. There's no freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of thought. And actually, if you think about it, to some degree, there's not really that much freedom of movement without being monitored by the police state. China? You hear that, folks? Remember, once again, he's a kind of a Marxist guy, right? Let's listen to what he has to say. Pretty ridiculous.
They have a collective focus as well as an individual focus.
What's their system called?
It's called communist.
So you think communism is better than capitalism?
I think a system which reflects the need for a cohesive society as well as individual gain is needed. And the system in China is closer to that than the system in America.
In China, listen, I don't know a ton about this, but they have a leader who stays in power. And
So you hear this ridiculous. Now, you're not going to find many critics of capitalism as strong as me. Very critical. I've stated many times for many years capitalism is in crisis, has many problems. That is to say, you're not going to see probably any more harsher critics of capitalism than me, except if you're talking about Marxists, people that have their own agenda. But the fact is that you got to understand, folks, capitalism has lost its way, but it needs to be fixed. Communism is not the solution. Okay? Communism does not provide the ingredients for innovation, high-tech innovation, right? It's not a merit-based system. The reason why our world keeps improving, our standards keep improving, we get better medical technologies, so on and so forth, is because of capitalism. Because capitalism fosters, provides freedom of expression, which is needed for creativity, and the fear of failure. Communism does not provide that. So I mean, who's the economist here? Steve Keen should be saying these things. He's the economist. What a fucking clown. Really. Even Bartlett is like holding it back. Even he's like wanting to laugh, I think.
That's the potential weakness.
And suppresses the people's decision-making, entrepreneurialism.
Equally, you've got a system to get into the Communist Party. You've got to have you've got to be educated to get in, and you have to perform to some extent in the region in which you begin your role.
But you're not saying you think the West should adopt communism, are you?
No, I'm saying the West should adopt a system which reflects the need for a cohesive society.
Is that socialism?
Socialism is closer to it. I mean, the words are all tainted. Okay, if you go back, do you eat Cadbury's chocolate?
I try not to.
You have, haven't you? Okay. Cadbury's was a social.
Anyway, I mean, honestly, it's shocking to me to hear these answers from Keen. I was expecting, the grift part, right? But I mean, he's an economist. He's getting so many things. He's missing so many things. It's bizarre. I'm not even an economist. It's just a fucking moron. Anyway, I guess it helps if you have a background in an area such as like science maybe or engineering that gives you an understanding about how innovation comes about, right? Economists don't do anything. Just sitting there daydreaming all day about things. Anyway, that's it, folks. This is the expose. Keen now, and we can take a look at his channel. And you can see here. So he's up to almost 100%. He was at about 110, 115,000. Now he's up to almost 200,000 in 2 days because of all the fucking idiots who listen to Bartlett. I mean, of course, if they're going to be fooled by Bartlett, they're going to be fooled by Keen. And Keen's going to really be pushing his bullshit $10,000 a year course, which he claims you can predict the future. Fucking clown. So this video here, he pretty much says the same thing, by the way. okay, about the U.S. It's complete bullshit. It's hyperbole. It's fear-mongering, and it's a sales funnel. That's what it is. All his videos are a sales funnel for his bullshit course that's not going to teach you jack. Not going to teach you anything that you're going to need to know. Okay? It's not going to teach you shit. $10,000 a year. I mean, the world's greatest investment analyst doesn't even charge anywhere near that. You see, that's what you get when you scare people. If you're fear-mongering, scaring people, reaching their emotions and all this bullshit, and constantly pumping out garbage, that's the high-ticket item. The scammers. See, they're spending all their time on sales and marketing. You see? Anyway, I'm disgusted. Get the fucking word out, people. Make yourself fucking useful. Probably got a bunch of fucking dirtbag grifters watching this right now.